Today on Mob Rules,
we talk about a book review from Gav Thorpe.
We leave an appropriately timed length of space for Ted to delete this audio and insert his own, and so he can be part of the intro. And not much else. All that and nothing else.
Yeah.
Today on Mob Rules. Welcome to Mob Rules.
What up?
Episode something. I'm not terrible at following along in those now. It's
I
been
don't know.
like
I think it's is it episode 69?
I would love it if it was.
Oh man, I'm gonna check that real fast.
We should check that real quick. I am John, joined as always by Dave. Right now, we're gonna get Ted on using the wonders of modern technology.
Boodle-doo.
And today we're going to be talking Warhammer.
Warhammer 40K, like we always do.
Like we always do. Please hold while I stall so I can make a call.
I have tweeted entirely too much. It's way too hard to find this now.
Yeah, you have. Oh man, here we go. Here's some classy noises coming in.
I hear it.
Hey?
Oh hey, I got to turn you up.
Hey.
Can you
Oh,
hear
okay.
us?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, good times.
Yeah, it's like you guys are broadcasting from a urinal.
Jokes on you. We are broadcasting.
Oh,
It's
damn
an
it.
Oh,
iPoo.
it's only 64.
Oh, we thought it was episode 69 and we got all excited for a
What?
second.
there was a
Yeah.
urinal for 69 and
I'm
64.
sorry, with 65. We are in episode 65.
We're in yeah.
Yeah, we were excited because we thought it was 69 because I have no perception of time. But sadly
Hopeful.
no.
Aw.
Welcome, Ted. Machine Spirit Ted.
Oh, sweet. Are we on right now?
Yeah.
We used
Oh.
56K to get you.
Yeah.
Wow. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Awesome.
And we're using that sweet FaceTime audio, so you sound swell and stuff.
So I sound like I'm from a urinal as well?
Yeah, but you always sound like that, so it's fine. It's your charm.
Man, this is kind of an upgrade because I thought I normally sounded like I come from a shitter, but whatever.
You and your potty mouth.
I know.
So I will say, like, when you sent the message earlier saying, like, I can phone in for it, I did read that message on my new Apple Watch device.
Yeah.
Which cut off half the message, and I didn't bother finishing reading it.
Oh, man.
So that's when I'm like, where are you? Where's Ted? What's happening?
You're late sauce.
But you're here now, and that's all that matters.
Hey. Yeah.
I put like a stuffed animal across the table, so it felt like there was someone there.
And I got to splash it with paint, so it looks like you.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Did you tear a little hole in its butt?
Just like the real Ted.
Hey,
it's a
Dave, pass
Teddy-
Ted over here. I need to do something.
It's a Teddy Ruxpin, so he's already got a
okay.
butthole, so it's fine.
They brought. Have you seen that they brought those back?
But the data port buttholes?
Yeah,
I didn't know
well,
they
Teddy
were-
Ruxpin,
didn't
but
know they
yeah.
were on.
Yeah, Teddy
Ruxpin, the kick-ass robot toy.
Yeah.
I did see they brought back combat cards. And I
Oh.
know you two gentlemen are.
What does it have to do with Teddy Ruxpin?
Because they brought shit back that shouldn't have been brought back.
Oh.
like Neopets.
Yeah, instead of top trump cards, I know in my parents' attic back over there in the homeland, I have like 20
homeland?
stupid desks.
Back in the homeland.
You're giving up all of my secrets. I'm secretly Russian.
Oh,
Yeah.
not so
We
secret.
have Teddy Ruxpin, but with data cards.
It's not.
Or combat cards.
Russians didn't have Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, okay.
They had Comrade Rasputin.
No.
Comrade Theodore.
The moderately not kick-ass, almost robot bear.
They had Teddy Ruxpin. They just distributed him to everyone. So everyone had a little bit of Teddy
So they had
Ruxpin.
a Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, that was distributed amongst everyone.
And you had like
Sunday,
micro
it's my
machines,
turn.
but they were micro Yugo.
Micro donkeys.
So they just
all-
exploded.
The tires keep breaking on these toys. They don't roll. What is wrong?
Boo.
Sorry.
All right.
Oh man, Ted, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
In this past
Oh, wow.
2-week period.
Well, I got a game in a while ago with a new cat. Oh my god, I kind of
Cat? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
How did he do?
Surprisingly, I won against the cat. It was. It's the only way I get my victories in. It's either like 9-year-olds or felines.
I just have an image of like you taking this game like ultra seriously, like moving your models, and then a cat on the other side of the table just really slowly pushing models off the edge of the table.
While also licking his butthole.
Yeah. All right, you can do that as long as they're your models, there, Tiger.
That's how you.
Poor Ted's Imperial Knights just like slowly edging towards.
Hey, Mr. Fluffy, stop it.
You played against a new guy, right? Or is it?
Yeah, who'd you play against?
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, he's a relatively new guy. Super nice dude. He was at our hobby night a few weeks ago, and he plays Tau. Oh man, I feel sorry for him, but he was a super great sport and he fed me. So thank you, Tyler.
But I mean, that game against Tau like a year ago would have been fucking miserable for you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I think like some of the part of the way the mission worked, because we did the open deck, and it ended up like what is it? It was basically like the relic, but then the deployment was really weird. Like, I won the roll off to pick the deployment zone, and the deployment zone was like a 24-inch circle in the middle, and then there was like a 9-inch no man's zone around it, and then I think like a part of not the twist or something. I don't know. There's some factor that like makes. I think it was a twist, but like it's a night fight or something. Yeah. So there's like, and you roll each turn, and like you can add 6 inches to the range if you roll right.
Like 5 cards you flip out for it.
I played that one against Nate, where you roll every turn. And like, because my Marine army is like all guns all the time. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh wow, sweet, yeah, more night fighting. Oh,
yeah.
Great. Yay.
But it works out for the guy in the middle, especially when like, I got the relic. I'm Space Marines, used, a bunch of short range dudes. I had like my aggressors there, and like I brought the what the hell, the repulsor. Like, so there's tons of guns, and none of them have like super long range, and he only has like a 12-inch or 18-inch like range on his gun. So, like, all right, bring it in. It's just like it was a super soaker of Tau blood everywhere.
Nice.
Oh man!
So you basically brought a mobile gun platform to a stickball fight.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Dead Alive?
I think I have actually.
I think it's like one of Steve Jackson or Peter Jackson's first movies. He was
like,
like,
Dead, right?
You're thinking of Bad Taste, right?
No,
but I think
it's Brain Dead when he takes the lawnmower to the zombies' faces.
Oh yeah, that's Dead Alive.
Maybe
it might have a different name.
It was called that.
Maybe, but yeah, like where he takes a lawnmower and like throws like ties it up to his chest like with a rope, and then like runs back and forth, and like he's like slipping on the blood on the floor, and like it was like that, but with bolters. So I think it was like, in a lot of ways, it was the mission, kind of lent itself really nicely. And, it was a game. It was a game. So I gamed.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I immediately went home and was like, I should make some more aggressors.
I really want aggressors now.
Aggressors are so good. The whole standing still, shoot twice thing.
Yes.
You factor that into some of the new stratagems that are going on.
Oh, okay.
Aggressors plus the orbital. What was it? It's not orbital bombardment, but it's the 2 CP. I get to shoot you because you landed close to me. Deep strike.
Osprey scan.
Osprey scan.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So when you have 5 aggressors who didn't move, who suddenly get to shoot twice at 6 per model, so that's 30. It was 60 shots. It was 60 shots.
Tons of guns.
It was so much fun to watch. Happened to somebody who wasn't me. So.
That's an interesting game over there.
I'm coming in with my deep strikers. They're dead. Okay.
Yeah, so somebody was going to go home and not get laid that night. So this terrible thing happened to me. Honey, let me make it better. No, I can't get it up.
He disrespected his honor.
Sorry, bro.
Really expensive captain with a jump pack you had there. Shouldn't have landed it first, I guess.
Oh,
the assault squad. All like, what's it they say in the third X-Men movie is like the pawns go first.
So do you think like the stratagems are like the new formations? But different-ish? I mean, where it's like always like the new hotness coming out, like the new stratagem. Hey, I can use this crazy thing.
Well, because stratagems are localized to your race as you
Yeah.
faction that you're playing. Like the new Dark Angel stratagems are
specifically Dark Angels.
Yeah. Well, like formations.
Well, yeah. So I mean, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Because with the stratagems, you're kind of building to them to
That's
use
true.
them the best. You're looking at like 1 or 2 or 3, and then building your army list around that.
right.
Yeah.
Like my list is built around like 1 or 2 like specific stratagems.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess like when you started talking, I was like, no, and now I'm like,
Yeah, because depending on how you
Yeah.
build your army, the more command points you have, the more you know what stratagems you're going to be using. It's not just the basic 3 from the book.
Yeah, because there's a ton of them now.
oh yeah,
Seems
there's
like.
so many, and there's a lot of bullshit ones. Looking at you, Death Guard.
You're looking at me. What,
No, well, I'm not literally looking at anyone, but you.
why'd you call me Death Guard?
Because you're the only one in the room, and it's rude to
Yeah.
talk and make eye contact.
It's a racial slur, Dave. You'll understand.
Damn it.
But yeah,
When you go back to Mother Russia, they use that all the time.
there's some hardcore ones, and yeah, like I said, I want to use Auspex Scan because Auspex Scan is a great stratagem, but I don't see the point using it without kind of like aggressors or something really hardcore in the back.
Something
you want
brutal.
to aside.
Well, because so what is Imperial Soup right now? The new hotness of Imperial Soup is using the command squads to deep strike in with Imperial Guard covered in
What?
plasma guns and stuff. Yeah, for
What?
a lot of armies in the Imperial Soup.
Well, yeah, because Scions.
Yeah,
and Deep
Scions.
Strike with like 3 plasma guns a squad.
Scions?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
to pass the
Scions. Not.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking Cylons, and all of a sudden it was like Battlestar Galactica.
Well, it's super
You can
awesome
play
because, like,
Cylons?
every round, you can pick one of your opponent's models that makes the least sense to be a Cylon, and then it just joins your army.
Yeah. And helps eliminate the enemy.
Not that I'm bitter about that last couple of seasons of Battlestar Galactica.
Wow.
Sound at all better.
Yeah.
Woo.
Wow. Oh, that must have been the new Earth. I just remember the old like Star Wars knockoff.
So what else you got, Ted? You played a game? You doing some painting?
Yeah. Doing a little bit. I haven't done a whole lot of modeling or hobbying or anything. Like, actually, I was really excited. I was like, man, before you guys call me, I'm going to run down to Fred Meyer and buy myself a copy of Space Hulk Deathwing, and I'm going to play that while I talk to you guys. And I'm like, what up, Fred Meyer? And they're like,
Wait,
what game are you talking about? You're crazy.
Is that? Oh, it's on
Is that a computer
PS4
game?
now, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's supposed to have dropped December 4th, and they're like, I'm like showing him online, like December 4th, honky, and he's like, I know not this weird game you talk of, nerd, and like, oh, so I had to call up like GameStop, and they're like, yeah, try March. I'm like, what?
What? Did it get delayed again?
Yeah.
I'm currently neck deep in Tales from the Borderlands. Which
Oh.
is phenomenal! I love those Telltale games.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh wait, is it one of the? That's one of the downloadables, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like $20. It's amazing. Humor's very good in it.
I mean, the game's good, but I mean, like the whole Borderlands, like they're good, but you know, it's the story, it's the dialogue, like listening to the NPCs talking about how they're gonna like pop somebody's eyeball out and skull fuck them, like that's classic.
It's classic and classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm too busy playing Free Cell. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's pretty solid.
What's that?
I
What is it?
Downloaded it to my phone. You know,
It's a card game.
it's
Oh, okay.
what was it? Windows 6, Windows 5, Windows 6 that they released it with it. It was something like included.
3.11.
I
No,
don't know.
that was solitaire for that one. Anyway, but do you use your John Blanche Citadel playing card deck so we can relate this back to Warhammers?
Yes.
Whoa.
Look at that turnaround there.
You can on the mobile app that I downloaded because I'm an idiot. You can actually set your theme, and my background is actually a picture of Blood Bowl.
Boobies.
So that's close, as close as I can get. Sorry.
Wow.
It's the troll cheerleaders from the video game.
Nice.
Really?
No.
So you? Oh.
Well, he's showing me his phone right now. It is.
Oh,
It is.
damn it!
Oh, really? That's
Keep it
hot,
in your
dude.
pants, Ted. I know. Yeah.
Beside a furry. I mean, no judgment.
Yeah.
Really? Is it like now? Which kind of troll is it? You're talking like the river trolls? Because I think those would be kind of hot. Like if it's stone trolls, probably not so much. It just look like my grandma.
What's wrong with stone trolls, Ted?
They're not wet.
Like I said, they look like my grandma. Your grandma's a lot hotter than mine.
Yeah, she is.
Being that she's alive. Man, that bag of ashes. Woo!
Wow, So you played a game against Tyler. You whipped the living shit out of him, and he seemed, from what I read, he seemed really happy about it.
Yeah.
He was like, wow.
Did you give him his commemorative "Ted beat me really hard" bumper sticker?
Because he would have been the first one to do that or get one, so I hadn't made those up yet.
Yeah, I noticed you were running out of space in the back of your car with your commemorative "Tada beat me really hard" ones. So
see, I thought he was going to go like Full Metal and be like, "Ted beat me really hard" on the back of his own car because he played himself.
It's the only way Ted has won a game.
Yeah, just like,
Ted's beat me before.
Were you using
or with
points
the
values?
cat, but whatever.
I think so.
Probably not.
Did it come out that Ted was actually using? No, didn't you beat Ted in the Tale of Gamers game?
Well, I think we're tied.
It wasn't
right,
a
Ted?
mutual loss, actually.
The Tale of Gamers?
Yeah, you beat me.
I think you. Are you sure? I think
I beat you with your Tournament Tau versus my Tournament Space Marines. Hashtag.
What?
Remember a while ago we played against
Tale of Gamers?
No, that was a long time ago. You beat me, Tale of Gamers.
Did I? That was the one where we did the
Don't blow up the plasma obliterator, and you blew up the plasma obliterator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So I think you would have beat me if it was just like a slugfest, but yeah, the thing blew up. So it was
Didn't Ted play into the mission?
Didn't Duma the dreadnought charge in and punch the obliterator, blowing it up or something?
It was a slight breeze to the obliterator.
Well, what about
it could have been.
John?
Those were ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
What's up?
What's up? What?
Huh?
No, dead air. Awesome
What?
stuff.
Well,
Joe, what about you, John? What are you doing up to?
oh man, so much.
Yeah, what are you doing up to?
Literally.
Yeah.
I built in 3-color minimum 2 Toroxes.
Yeah, you were saying you really like that kit. 3 of them, though. Or 2 of them?
Two.
What'd you
Two of
say?
them.
2 of them,
Two of
3-color? Okay.
There
There was 2 different numbers there.
23 Toroxes.
So I built 2 Toroxes.
All of a sudden, it's a Da Vinci Code. 7, 17, 13, 2. Like, what does it mean?
Well, if you can decode it, then you can find out what my army composition is. It's only fair. Or like if you show up to a game with a list and like I can't read this, it's like, well, you don't read ancient Latin. I provided you with my list. That seems like your problem. Power gamers.
Wow. I know, this is America. Learn ancient Latin.
So then I finished.
Go ahead.
I finished my display board.
It looks really good.
Oh, cool.
Super happy with how it turned out. Yeah.
I'm a little jealous. In fact,
It only took me 3 months of having it sit in a corner like a third time before I was like, might as well do this.
well,
Cool.
I've got a week to get one finished. So
Is that for LVO or for funsies or what are you doing?
LVO is being canceled for me. The
Oh,
Las
what?
Vegas Open.
Why?
I have the chance of going to my home country next year, and for the first time
Of Russia.
13 years.
Oh, okay.
And the bribes for Russia are pretty expensive. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I can go if I don't go to LVO. It was questionable if I could do both, and I don't know how I could explain to my mother that I'm not going to come home because I went and partied for a week in Vegas.
that's really easy. It sounds like you just explained it.
I bought that.
Clip this section later and then play it to her in a voicemail.
John, try this. I'm gonna play the role of your mother.
Okay.
And I want you to practice.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell me if you're gonna go to LVO.
Hey, I'm going to go to LVO.
What the fuck is LVO? How'd that work? Did that sound like her?
I could understand what you're saying, so no.
I was going to say, what is your home country again? Scotland, right?
Scotland,
Do-
right?
Scotland. So she's like,
They more of a Russian accent?
My mother speaks
Haggis.
very quickly in
Like
a
that?
very brisk northern, northern Scottish accent. So
All right.
my
Well,
wife,
let me.
So she sounds just like Mel Gibson from Braveheart.
but higher pitched and faster.
So just
Okay.
like Mel Gibson from Braveheart.
I think she has no problems with Jews. I haven't asked her. Her thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
I'm not gonna be able to make it. I have.
Okay. So this roleplay wasn't working out for you.
No, it was working out.
It was doing stuff for me,
Doing
Ted.
stuff.
So,
yeah, you're making me miss my mom. It was like she was like right here, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I called her in 3 months. I'm in trouble.
oh man, how do you even know she's still alive? You better call her and verify.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel someone.
That's what happened to my mom.
I mean, I still get passive aggressive notes on Facebook, so I'm sure she.
Oh.
But you can't decipher them.
I don't speak Latin,
Yeah.
so yeah. I kind of
Yeah.
for it. So no,
Thanks, William.
I'd already bought a ticket for the friendly, so I currently there's one of the guys in one of the Discord chats. And it's like you can have it if you want.
Which guy?
Oh,
was it?
cool.
Which chat was that?
The Honest Wargamer Discord.
Yeah. Let's not give a shout out to those guys.
No, it's good. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That was
do
my
too.
first foray into Discord.
I can't believe you'd never used Discord before.
I'm a like a surface hipster. Where, I have
Yeah,
a bunch
no.
of yeah, I run a club,
Oh, wow.
but I really don't know anything. So, but you guys all knew that already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I placed my Christmas order from Forge World.
And I'm angry with you.
What was that? I heard some. Oh, what'd you get?
I was like looking online and I got like that Forge World email and I went to my wife and I'm like, this is what I would like as a Christmas present for the new Carb Calm, the Arisen Leviathan Dreadnought. As I'm currently working on a way to make an all Dreadnought army, and I have now a HQ Dreadnought. She was
so that's the Red Scorpion guy.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So do the rules work like for everybody else, or are you just gonna fuck it?
Okay, so I also put a poll out on Twitter saying what I should rename my Imperial Fist as the successor chapter. Now I'm going to have a bunch of Red Scorpion dudes in it, and I think Golden Scorpions won.
No,
was it Golden Fist?
Oh.
No, it was like
Yeah.
Fisting Scorpions.
Fisting
was
Scorpions
the real winner.
Was the real
Oh.
winner, but not the one I'm taking.
Okay.
Yeah, Golden Scorpions.
But I think I'm just going to like
Yeah,
all of them.
Golden showered scorpions or scorpion showers would
Yeah.
be nice, but I think the golden, the fisting scorpion sounds really
Fisting
good.
Scorpions. So what I think
Yeah,
I'm just going to
that's
do
sold.
is on some of my Imperial Fists, I'm just going to paint the fist emblem gold, and then
Okay.
all good. But yeah, so I have Carb Calm the Arisen on the way, and then while I was there, my wife was like, "Is there anything else you need?"
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, "Well, there's nothing I really."
Wait, you used the word need. Wait a second.
Yeah, I was completely honest. I was like,
She's figured it out.
"There's
Not once,
nothing
but
I
need.
need." She's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Well, I could also do with another Leviathan Dreadnought."
You had two tabs open. The first tab was the stuff that you needed. The second tab was just this giant
I
list.
didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
So I picked up another Leviathan Dreadnought. I picked up another set of Storm Cannon arms. I picked up the new special characters for the Red Scorpions because that display base is amazing. Those guys look really, really good. And then I picked up Inquisitor Hector, Rex, and Retinue because I've wanted that model for a while. He looks pretty baller. And then I was at exactly 249 pounds.
So you put in a Stormbird.
I was very
What?
close to be like, "Hun, I'm 1 pound away from free shipping. I got to put this Warlord Titan in."
There you go. That's my boy.
Just put it on the credit card. It's fine.
So I put in a single pot of Phalanx yellow airbrush paint.
What?
Yeah,
Nice.
What?
Game in that system
Yeah.
for that extra thing. So yeah, and then I proceeded to immediately make an army list that had 3 relic Leviathan Leviathan dreadnoughts, all in drop pods.
Because you hate your friends. Is that what the deal is?
No, I just really, really like dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
The reason I took all of the quad mortars is because I hate my friends.
Right. Yeah.
But
Oh.
Leviathans are good. So yeah, I have that on the way. That's going to sit under the tree taunting me until Christmas morning when I can pretend to be surprised to see it.
Aw.
I'm very excited about that. And then that's about it. I built 3 mortar teams for my Imperial Guard.
Oh wow.
You again hate people.
No, there's only 3. And they're all attached to squads. It's not like it's one heavy weapons team. They're all in squads. So
All right.
it's not terrible. I wrote 6 different missions for the the tournament that my friend and I run for kind of the hardcore tournament gamers.
The Ultramar Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to play in that, Ted?
Well, considering I no longer have a job as of January 3rd, maybe sooner than later. But,
you'll always have a job in my heart.
Yeah.
It's Juice Bopper, by the way.
Yo, okay.
Sadly, Dave doesn't pay.
Yeah.
I know.
I wrote 6 missions for that. I used I Frankenstein parts of the open war deck and the chapter approved book and the book missions, some ICC stuff in there. I made up a whole new bunch of tertiary objectives because right up until now we've been doing like First Strike and Linebreaker and Slay the Warlord, but those kind of started getting dull because we're doing them all the time. So I made up some more. There's one because I really love Electronic Arts right now. Like the first new one I made was a sense of pride and accomplishment, where you destroy your opponent. You get a point for destroying your opponent's least expensive unit. I was originally going to make it more complicated and say destroy their least expensive unit with your most expensive unit and really get that microtransaction sense of satisfaction right there. I got like Strategic Genius, which is spend 6 command points. And again, this is all kind of aiming at like making people having to tailor their list in a certain way to maximize points.
It'd be nice to have like some like hobby shaming in there, like plus damage against like the shittiest looking model in the opponent's army, the poorest quality conversion.
All of my models then take mortal wounds every turn. How dare you?
It's the gray plastic Duncan rule.
Yeah,
if you get +1 to hit and +1 to wound against any model that's not painted.
Right. If you make like a orc voice, you get like an extra mortal wound that you get to put on a model of your choice.
That'll be administered by me to your face.
Oh, yeah, this is a mortal wound to your incisor. I'm gonna knock it out. Ow, my tooth.
And then I looked through the Halo achievement list and started stealing stuff like Throne of Bones, which is your warlord killed more units than your opponent's warlord. Attrition, you killed more units than your opponent. Emperor's Sight is before the battle begins, guess what round the battle will end. So
that's awesome.
This
That's
will
cool.
end
You're
turn
gambling.
3. This will end turn 4. I know. So like stuff like that, just trying to get some more variety going. I started like naming the missions like completely seriously. So like my first missions are called Supply and Demand. And then I went ridiculous, and I have Means of Production is number 2, Impact Zone is number 3, and then we get all the way down to the bottom, like Highly Sensitive Data, and then my very favorite mission I made, I called, so I'm scrolling down here and wasting for time.
Good stuff.
I know, it's riveting. Oh man, where did it go? I have to show this off.
It's Steve Flank. Steve Flank. That's it. The fuck is Steve Flank?
It's called Linebreaker Super Ultra Hyper Edition Plus featuring Pitbull. And it didn't.
That was pretty much what I had guessed.
Yeah.
Mr. Worldwide.
And it didn't show up in the PDF I put up in our local group, but there was an image of Pitbull watermarked on the back of that page.
So the Pitbull rejected it, or the internet rejected it. Like,
my friend said he may be Mr. Worldwide, but he's not Mr. Multi-Format Document.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's good. So yeah, so I had all those done and posted that. We ran another Ultramar event out at MJ's out in the Valley, which was our first one we did out in the Valley.
Yep.
Which I thought was a lot of fun. There's a lot of good armies there.
Cool.
There's a couple of really tough armies there.
Yeah.
But I feel like all of the players, I mean, at this point, it's kind of like an attitude kind of thing. And
What
like
do you mean?
we made kind of adjustments, and what I like about it is I'm not beholden to this is how ITC does it, so this is how it is. So like we had one of the players took like a super heavy detachment, which had like 3 different Baneblade variants. Which he was a great guy, a great army. But now like for our next events, you can use a super heavy detachment. You know,
Yeah.
so kind of being able to make those adjustments and kind of listen to the player base and kind of move it on was been super nice.
I think that wasn't so that particular guy was just down from Fairbanks. They were down for they misread the tournament they were coming down for. They were coming down for the one that happened this last weekend instead of 2 weekends ago. So they brought like an ITC tournament list and had to tailor cut. These two guys
500
each
points.
500 points. So it's not that he was trying to bring like a douche list, but it's just the way that it.
That's the models.
But he brought a
Right,
douche
that's
list.
what
Are you saying that he brought a douche list? Are you insinuating that our friendly folk from Fairbanks are douches?
I mean,
you
I'm
pretty
not
much just said that,
insinuating
Dave.
they're douches. They're great.
Pretty
guys.
much just said that.
They're pretty
douches.
good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, except they're douches apparently.
Yeah.
According to Dave.
I'm sure they're anally very clean.
Yeah, I mean, they're spotless. So.
But yeah, we had like one player had like Mortarion and Magnus.
Yeah, that was a great game.
At 1,500 points. Yeah. The other guy had like a Baneblade, a Shadow Sword, and another Baneblade. I don't know. Like I said, I
didn't have to play him because he won, and I was busy losing, so it's fine.
I can't fault the guys who took the armies. Like I said, they were there to play. They played with a great attitude. It's not like they stomped face and like, oh, fuck you, noob, get good.
That's not true.
Well, you should get good.
Pretty much what they did.
I mean, who was who had that? Was that I can't remember his name. The guy. So I played in the tournament, and I won the first game, barely, against Jake. Jake and I have some great games, as you know.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah, me and Jake.
I tried not to assume your games.
Thanks. Did you just
2017, Dave? Come on.
Did you just assume my gamers?
I didn't assume anything. If you're pro bad game, that's fine. That's okay. I'm non. You don't even have to be pro you could be non-binary. You can be ambivalent about your games. I don't care. It's
allies.
Fine. You can be an Inquisitor detachment if you want. You can be checkers. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. If that's what you want, if you want to be checkers, that's okay. You can be checkers.
Nobody wants to be checkers, Ted. Come on. So I played the first game against Jake, and I could have sworn I was going to lose. We finished round 2 and didn't have time to finish round 3. Jake had so much shooting, and I had so much shooting that afterwards we both joked to the.
I had so much shooting. I had all the shooting. It was the best shooting.
Oh no! This is happening again. We haven't had a game go past round 3 in an Ultimar Cup yet because there's just like he fails charges against repulsors, so that I'm just like, oh god, more. Come on, dude, make a dice roll. It's a 3-inch charge. Nope, never mind. He rolled 3 inches -2 from. Okay,
technically that's still a successful charge,
right?
Because you're within an inch of the base. This is why we tell you to get good, Dave.
I should have learned to get good.
Yeah.
Zachary, his name was Zachary for round 2.
Yeah, there was Zachary.
So I played Zachary round 2. He had the Magnus Mortarion Demon list, which I was deathly afraid of because I really didn't have anything that can handle it. And I've never played against Mortarion and Magnus, and I didn't know that Magnus could move 11,000 inches in a turn, an assault turn 1 with proper psychic phase. So
there's actually a slide rule on his character sheet because they couldn't fit it all into his movement characteristic. They had to write 11,000 in like a sticky note that you add to it.
It's like when you type a formula into Excel, his move characteristic is #ref.
Yeah. I was like, I should
E500. Going scientific notations there.
But I shot first round at his demons and killed a whole bunch of them, and then he just was like, "Boom, Magnus, ripping your shit up," and I was like, what's happening? So I moved I just kind of like kept moving around the board while Magnus and Mortarion like chased me around the board.
Oh wow!
As I was trying to kill them, and I did manage to do. Get them both below half wounds, which was sexy. And then I talked him into agreeing to a legitimate compromise that if he couldn't kill 3 intercessors that were holding an objective in turn 4, then he had to concede the game.
That's a good one. I should try that. Just from the beginning. Hey, if you don't kill these 3 guys, I win the game.
Yeah.
What?
By the
That's
way,
not part of the rules.
Reserve,
No.
I killed them. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
He rolled.
I deep strike him to the other table.
Excuse me, guys. Don't mind me. I'm setting down this assault squad here.
So
it's cool, bro.
And didn't kill him with Mortarion and managed to finish. It came down to like a coin flip die roll at the very end. If I made the 3-up save for my last wound, he loses and I win. But you've met me, so you know that my dice roll is. I was, of course, going to roll a 1, but it made for it made for a really fun game, even though he was just whipping the ever loving shit out of me.
I mean, like I said, and this goes shit. They were both like really awesome guys. I felt really bad. We did the dice rolls for pairings because we're awesome like that because we're using an Excel spreadsheet, and the only two people who traveled from Fairbanks were paired up against each other round 1.
Oh, naturally.
Which caused AK our local group to melt down at calls of shenanigans and myself and Nate having an Illuminati like power forcing them against each other and all that other kind of stuff. And I'm like, I rolled dice.
It was random.
Wow.
They watched it.
The dice are racist.
Yeah.
Blame the dice.
Are racist. So yeah,
against Fairbankses. You're one of those Fairbanks lovers, aren't you?
But yeah, it was super good. They ended up coming in second and third, I think. Right?
Oh wow!
No, first, didn't he?
First, yeah.
No.
Second and third.
No, was
Wasilla guy came first.
I wish I could remember his name.
Oh man, I'm the worst. Yeah.
Damn.
He came in first, and like I said, it was a really good event. And I think the thing I like about it, we've ran 3 now, and each one has had a different winner. And each winner, aside from the first one, I've not really had a lot of interaction with or talked to, and they're kind of new to the area, which is makes me feel super happy. Yeah. Again, just trying to provide an alternative to hyper competitive, still competitive. But you don't have to there's some people who have the mentality of, are we here to win or are we here to have fun? It's can we do both? Maybe.
Yeah, it's the Ultimar Cup is everybody has fun,
and if they don't, they're banned.
Yeah, you don't have fun, you're out. So it is a great
which
thing.
Is why I don't play.
And everybody that lives in a different state start tweeting at John to get him to send you all the information on how to run this sort of thing. Trademark John at Modules.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want the packet, send me the information. Like I said, it's nothing fancy. I uploaded a 6-mission packet, and it's just... Yeah. And I said I'm going to change it as it goes and adjust it to our local meta, so that's pretty exciting. But Dave, talking about exciting, what have you been up to? How goes the paint everything you own before you can go buy more challenge? Buy any more, finger quotes, board games recently?
No, I have
containing knights and or...
It has tiles. I don't know. I haven't actually opened
What? No, it doesn't.
You sure? Oh.
This is a board game set. It's 10 tentacle marines.
Yeah.
What's the board game? It's called Shut the Fuck Up.
Yeah.
Stop bothering me.
Oh, you lost.
Wow. This has got ghetto up in Dave's resonance.
Straight ghetto. All right,
Ratchet.
So, in my world, I've been doing some painting. I've got 5 intercessors with heavy bolters ready for the next Ultramar Cup. Actually, ready for by the time this airs Friday. So 2 Fridays from now, I'm playing my daughter. She'll be up for Christmas.
Wonderful.
Reserved a table over at Tier 1. We have never actually ever played a game against each other because I never wanted to crush the ever-loving shit out of her and make her cry.
Do you want to borrow some stuff so you can crush the ever-loving shit out of her?
No, I'm going to crush the ever-loving shit out of her anyway.
Were you here's a Leviathan Dread now?
I got some towel you could borrow.
Towel blood for her to play, right?
Yeah, welcome back to Alaska. What?
Here's a Tau army. Use it, but I don't want to use it.
Yeah, new chapter approved meant I had to paint up a whole bunch more other stuff to get to have everything good.
Oh, poor baby, your points went down. Oh,
so happy. Thank you, GW. It was a Christmas, early Christmas for me.
Oh, all my points went down too.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I just love everything that came out of chapter approved.
No vehicle design rules, dude. No vehicle.
Yeah.
The rumor was.
No, and they advertised it as being part of there. And then also they spent 8 pages discussing how to make objective markers for each race.
Yeah, is that what filled that?
Maybe, they were shit, we forgot. It's throwing this white Horf article about objective markers. Which actually had some super cool ideas, but
I haven't actually read the chapter approved. I just bought it.
But you love everything in it.
I'm just no. I mean, like all the stuff that's in it that is represented in other places, like the points and whatnot.
Enjoy that you are doing exactly the same as I'm doing, where I already got all my points on the internet.
Exactly.
So my book is sitting in the closet.
Mine's still in my truck from when I picked it up at MJ's from the Eldar Cup. So as is Cody's and also the White Dwarf about that day. But speaking of being unemployed, Ted. Tyson picked up the chapter.
He's a full-time media artist.
Wait.
Oh,
what?
So Tyson picked up the chapter approved, and then he called me, which he never does this. He always texts. So I was like, oh, God, what's the matter? Are you dying? Because something happened to your wife. Your house caught fire. What happened?
Oh, no.
He's like, did you see the vehicle design rules?
What?
I'm going to have to have Ted build me a Land Raider with and he just started rattling off weapons. So
oh my God,
in the future, maybe a commission.
But there's no vehicle design rules.
We could make them up. I can Photoshop it to look pretty convincing.
He was. I don't know.
Points cut in half when designed by someone with the name initials TK.
Yeah. So people are going to be looking at that wait a second, armor values aren't a thing anymore. What is this?
From the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that to look forward to. But I've decided that 2018 is the year of competitiveness, which I've said in the past, and I was going to run Tyranid, so I bought the Tyranid Codex, and I was going to run Eldar, so I bought the Eldar Codex.
Eldar, they're okay.
Well, that's why I bought the Tyranid Codex, because I bought the Eldar Codex, and these are just okay. So I bought the
Tyranid Codex. Anybody up for a game of 7th?
Who wants to play 7th? I got some jet bikes. I've been following the Blood Angels and the Dark Angels.
At all 30 of my scatter laser jet bikes.
And cried.
And I just had that Sarah McLachlan song playing in my head. I will remember you.
Oh.
It's so sad. I was like, what?
Someday.
These guns?
What's wrong with you? These will be good forever. Damn it.
Oh.
They were Eldar jet bikes, not honey. So it's
fine.
So
that was a great Jessica Alba movie. Honey.
Oh,
she was an inner city dancer.
Sorry, I was assuming you were saying it was the Jet Bikes. Honey was the name of it.
I mean, I would watch a dancing movie about jet bikes called
That's
Honey.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I've been following the Dark Angels stuff going on, and I'm going to run Dark Angels.
What?
We have a vacancy up here since our boy Phil left. There's nobody representing Dark Angels properly.
I've read that.
Andy's coming. He's got Dark Angels.
Yeah, I've read that rule set that's coming for Dark Angels. You will not be the only Dark Angels player out there. I feel my Red Scorpions will have Dark Angels chapter tactics.
Oh, yeah? when you say Andy, you talking about DeVoe?
DeVoe, yeah.
He doesn't play Dark Angels.
Well, he just sent me a picture of some stuff. I guess he bought a bunch. Well, he doesn't.
Those are Colts. Play. Those are his buddy Colts.
No,
Colt wants to play. Yeah.
No, he sent me a picture. He sent me personally a picture and told me specifically that he had a bunch of Dark Angel stuff that he never put together, and he's finally deciding that he's going to do it.
Oh man,
he's going to do Ravenwing.
Codex,
no,
Dave's not going to be a special snowflake anymore.
Well, yeah, but Andy lives in the valley, so I don't have to worry about him coming in.
Okay, there you go.
So I've been on Discord on the Glacial Geek channel because I'm a Patreon subscriber because I like Phil, and
I'm not. I just talk to him.
It's $1 to talk to him in there.
I mean, I talk to him for free.
So it's $1 to support Phil. I mean,
please don't stop talking to me, Phil.
Yeah,
you got to put John behind the paywall.
Yeah.
The first woo is free.
That's right.
But
make the cash ding-a-ling great again. Cash money. Anyway, that didn't come out right.
I don't have to buy anything to make a competitive Dark Angels list because I have it all already.
Like what?
And, well, like old space. I have probably 1,000. No, not 1,000. Probably 100 unbuilt Space Marines.
No, you have like 1,000.
1,000.
You have like 1,000. You have like 10,000.
Well, I probably have more if I wouldn't keep giving them away.
You have 15,000 right now. It just keeps going up. They keep
set of Primaris that I can put together.
Okay.
So I've got like all the Intercessors I need, all the Inceptors I need, and all the Hellblasters I need if I want to run them. I actually have been building together the bits to put together Dark Angels. I ordered some insignias for the Consecrators chapter. which is a successor of the Dark Angels, and I am putting everything together and tearing it up. I'm going to try to wreck face until the next codex comes out, and then I'll
Cool.
with
Then
that.
he'll buy that.
Yeah, look at
build
that.
now.
Sure.
Some people get stuff sent to them for free. I buy it like an idiot.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to. It's all good. And I've been working on a special Christmas present for my daughter, so hopefully she's not listening.
Oh, cool.
I was
Well,
And that's the
don't
Tau
talk
army,
about
right?
it then.
I was making Dark Eldar terrain because I was under the impression that she was still playing Dark Eldar based Yanari,
Oh, okay.
which is the last models that I bought for her. And unbeknownst to me, she has switched to Grey Knights. So
You know why that is?
yeah,
Because Zenari are terrible now.
yeah.
Really?
That's what I heard.
But I also heard Grey Knights were terrible.
Well, they're not as terrible. So Inari, they had the whole gimmick, the soul burst,
Oh, yeah.
which was, oh no, this is my shooting phase.
Right.
Yeah.
So each unit can now only soul burst. The army can soul burst once a turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they nerfed the bejesus out of them.
Yeah.
Good
And
thing.
it was because before it was really just
Oh, it was insane.
I watched someone play a game and then the other guy get no turns because literally was like, yes, I destroyed this unit and now my entire army is being murder-fried.
Yeah.
Aw.
They were slightly unbalanced and they needed to get fixed. And they did a little heavy-handed.
A little too far, but
yeah.
I'd rather too far than not far enough.
Aw.
That's true.
Because
Yeah, I
the
was talking to our
constructs-
buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go on, Ted.
Oh, I was gonna say our buddy Matt, who has been playing Grey Knights for the last few years and has an amazing Grey Knights army. He was saying, I was talking to him a couple days ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm about done with them. They're just not competitive anymore, so I'm gonna sell them."
Well, he's going to get like $1 million for that army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is. I can't wait to see that on eBay prices. Right? Pro painted.
I got a
Yeah.
question for you, Ted. You might know.
What's up?
So I was
Uh-oh.
looking through eBay. I was
$7.
looking at that pro painted
$7.
stuff.
$14.
What the fuck
Ding,
does
ding,
DPS mean?
What?
Like on eBay, the painted models are listed as House Asher Ganger DPS.
Oh shit! I have no idea.
I was trying to figure out what the fuck the acronym meant. If anyone listening knows, please let me know because it's really bothering me.
DPS.
I mean-
Which one is it? Is it like the older or the newer stuff?
It's the newer stuff, and they're all like DPS. And I was like, definitely painted shitly.
They're already painted and they're already
Are you sure it's not a paint company at all? Like
DPS.
I've fallen for that where I was trying to figure out what
so.
stuff meant.
maybe damage per second, like because they are pretty pointy. You know,
Maybe, yeah. Like if you threw it
it'll
hard,
cut
yeah.
you a lot.
Yeah, they're the plastic ones. You got to use the metal ones for the real damage.
I mean, I
Well.
have the metal ones.
It's a low DPS versus a high DPS.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to level your plastic up in order to.
Well, no, you would use the
Anyway.
plastic as a tank, and all the damage would go to
Okay.
the metal ones.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it means, and it's bothering me.
I haven't been eBaying much lately, but I know, like, you know, now that I'm going to be going back to school full time, like thinking about shit, I need some more income. Like, if I don't get my degree fast enough, like, oh, I should probably like finish my Iron Hands and put them on there. So I better figure that stuff out. So
Well, as you
They might go on
paint it,
eBay.
obviously you'll probably do some sort of tutorial video on the crazy conversions you do and stuff, right? How's the Wanderer coming? The pole dancer.
Oh, I haven't done anything really in a while. Like it pretty much like where he stopped. But yeah, thanks for retweeting that or whatever. Because like all of a sudden I got all these like followers on Twitter, a platform I haven't used in several weeks, and
Yeah, I'm aware.
I haven't used any
not
platforms.
that he's bitter.
Well, I was stoked because I passed you and Phil, and then I was like, "Yeah, I've got more Twitter followers than that." And then I today posted a picture because one of the guys I follow is working on an AdMech army, and he picked up those bits that you have that you use for the heads.
Oh, okay.
And I said, "Oh, you know, I know somebody that's got a picture of that." I sent it to him, and of course, everybody liked it, and they were like, "Well, strippers, yeah, look at that, he's holding the pole, strippers." As a stripper? How's he gonna? Oh, yeah, he's got to pay for college, you know. And the next thing you know, they all followed you because they're like, "Oh, look at this guy with his conversions. He's awesome." I was like, "That's fine. I don't need to be ahead of Ted and followers." Or anything.
You poor thing. Oh,
All of my followers switched to you. They were like, "Oh,
Thanks.
All Dave does is
Well,
repost awesome
I mean,
shit."
they can.
you're like
both.
my she-wolf. What the?
I mean, they can do
Did you
both.
call me She-Hulk?
No, a she-wolf. You know, they'd send the. Anyway, never mind. have like one wolf, like a pack would send their she wolf out. They would collect the prey, bring it back, and then they would attack and kill it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What?
it's a I don't know.
That's
That's
your breeding stock.
Hey, Ted.
Kinda.
Ted.
Kinda.
Let's talk about your last tweet that you did on your Twitter page. Apparently translated from Spanish.
Oh, what? What?
Well, it says Adepticon 2018, y'all, and then it gives me the option to translate it from Spanish.
Whoa!
I never knew you spoke Spanish.
Wow. Well,
I'm looking through the list of stuff you've signed up for.
Yeah, that's good because I don't remember what's on there.
You're going for an Old Hammer second edition mini tournament.
Yes. I wasn't going to sign up for it, but I think I didn't get into it. Oh, that's right. I didn't even talk about Adepticon, did I?
No. That's why I'm like, let's look through here.
Oh my god. So, okay, first
start the breadcrumbs.
Man, so Adepticon this year was, if you remember last year, because I often bitch about how bad the Adepticon process was. But I had this high anxiety level going into this thing. Peter from NGC 40K and I were both messaging back and forth for hours, just every few minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you pumped? We're a bunch of high school hockey players hitting each other's chests and jerking off on a biscuit. It was really intense. But
you went to a very different high school than I did, and we went to the same high school.
Who had to eat the biscuit?
It was thankfully it was an electronic biscuit, but but anyway, we're gonna I got my Excel spreadsheet with all the classes and all the things that I was gonna sign up for. I had another Excel spreadsheet with secondaries in case I didn't get the primaries, and there was a third list of broken down on how I was gonna all right, sign up for these three, then sign up for these three, then sign up for these three, then sign up for these two. And so I had them all laid out on my desktop at work, waiting for 5 o'clock to happen so I could jump on there. And I got most of the classes that I wanted. I missed a couple. I think there was one was camo patterns with Duncan, and then I can't remember what the other one was. I think there was another
You have this is the TED weekend lineup if anyone wants to stalk you. On the 24th, you have the Games Workshop Studio preview.
Okay, yeah.
Building Fantastic Miniscapes Part 1.
Oh, I'm excited about that, yeah.
But strangely enough, no Part 2. So
I thought about doing number 2, but if they're $65
It's
each.
going to be a long weekend.
Yeah. I think something conflicted with it, and the first one looked like it was more interesting. The second one was mostly painting, so fuck that.
So what in sweet Jesus is Warhammer 40K Car Wars?
So that one, it's a homebrew kind of a thing, and they did it last year for the first time. And it was, I think it's every race has a vehicle, and it's I think it's Dark Future. The board game from the 80s or early 90s, that GW had. But I think they, you can use a Tau Devilfish. You can use all these, weird things. So there's an orc truck in there. And then I think you're supposed to go down this long track that's 16 feet long or something. And, you're kind of rubbing up against each other and shooting one another and, all that stuff. So it's just like hockey, meets the Weinstein family, holiday party. And, so I'm curious. I've never played it before. It looks like a lot of fun. But I think I end up with so many classes. It's nice to be able to break up and do something that I've never done before. This weird ass game. I could play 40K anytime I don't have something else going on a weekend, or have my son, or have get date raped by a cat and have to cry in the corner for the whole weekend. So, as long as one of those things don't happen, I can play 40K at any time. But, play Car Wars is unique. So that, I'm curious to see how that goes. I'll let you know. I think they have their packet online where you can look the rules and stuff, but if not, I'll try to bring that. So, but Old Hammer.
Old Hammer. Yeah.
Dude, 1,500 points, second edition rules.
If I remember right, that's 3 models.
Thank God.
So much less to paint.
Yeah, so it's run. I haven't decided. It really depends on how much time I have, because I think that's the end of March, and so I have all the second edition stuff for orcs. I think I have I might have the Space Marine book. I can't remember. So
I have a bunch of second edition books, by the way.
Yeah, I remember that. You have the whole collection.
I know for a fact I have Imperial Guard.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure I have Eldar.
Yeah.
I don't have Tau because they weren't invented.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have a look, man, and see what kind of I have.
So I have orcs and angels of death. So I guess that's like I can either do blood angels or orcs in that rate. But it'd be nice, like since I'm going to do patrol as well. Unless technically, like the flesh terrors are painted by Dave's standards.
3 colors and base, you're good.
Yeah, but
they had bases.
So we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be kind of fun. I think like maybe if I can like double dip and have my patrol list come out of my old hammer list, I think that'd be really kind of nice.
I will say Memphiston was goddamn ridiculous in second edition.
Yeah.
Like table flipping ridiculous. So you should take him.
That's right.
Definitely.
That's right. That was back when they called it Hero Hammer, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it should be a classic list. 1500 points. Angels should be Memphiston. It should be Tycho.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then who's the fruity guy with the melta gun bolter? Is that Tycho?
That's yeah.
That's Tycho.
Are you thinking Corbulo?
Yeah, Corbolo as well. Those 3, and then maybe like an assault squad.
Okay.
1500 points.
Back
All right, here we go. Mephiston. Movement 6, weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 6, strength 7, toughness 6. Only 4 wounds. 9 initiative, 4 attacks, 10 leadership. What was his big deal? Was it the refractor field that was amazing? Has a saving throw of 5 or 6. Taken before a save of armor. This save is always taken before a save of an armor of any kind. Is not subject to saving throw modifiers. So he basically gets 2 saves.
Yeah.
But I think that's not
I think his
like
weapons were like freaking ridiculous as well.
So he has the mastercrafted plasma pistol, which gets a sustained fire dice.
You still have, you still have sustained fire dice, right?
Yeah.
All this
Don't throw
old
anything
shit
away.
you're gonna have to dig out.
I know.
I'm
I'm really excited because I like moving templates and stuff, like actually having moving arcs and having that matter. Like I'm really excited about that. Like, thankfully, it's only going to be like 5 models.
Don't forget your vehicle facing.
And your vehicle sheets.
Yeah.
Right. No, okay, that's gonna be kind of a problem because I think like I don't know if I have all those. So I think like wasn't there like the vehicle manual? You had to buy the vehicle manual as well. I don't think I have that.
No, all of the templates and stuff came in the box set. Some updated stuff came in Dark Millennium.
Oh, that's what I need.
But
okay.
Yeah, most of it. But I got you covered.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I can find those templates.
Sweet. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All about weird. Like I saw like Old Hammer, and I'm like, whoa, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
I could never read that many rule books and understand the system again, but that's badass.
Yeah.
And then it looks like you're going to start an Imperial Guard army again because you're doing a camo patterns paint class with our Lord Duncan, and then a realistic weathered stone and dirt class.
Oh, yeah. That I'm really kind of curious about because that's like an intermediate to advanced class. So I think it's going to be more than like right now I do like paint black, dry brush medium brownish gray, and then dry brush light gray. Done. Pick out a few things for a little bit of flocking on it. So it'd be nice to like step up the game and like, what does dirt look like, Mom?
I mean, that's what I did for my display board.
Dude, I'm right there with you, man. Like. But I think that
two-stage highlight because the danger you run into, especially with like basing or display boards, is you want them to look great, but you don't want it to kind of overwhelm the miniature.
Yeah, totally.
And that's why like a 2-stage dry brush highlight is good for me because it makes it look good and it kind of doesn't detract from the miniature. So like the hard part for me is kind of how do I up my basing game without detracting from the miniature game.
Right. No, that's a really good point. But I think like for what I want to start doing, and I don't mind just doing that with like my my daily drivers, like my armies and stuff. But I think like when it comes to like I would like to be able to, one of my goals now is to compete in the Crystal Brush. I don't have to win it, like just compete in it at some point. Like
don't you have to
throw them.
Do you have to
What's
win like satellite tournaments to get into the Crystal Brush at Adepticon?
Oh, that's right. I think they do have qualifiers, but there's also like the noob qualifier. So, but I want to be like comfortable. Like it's kind of like the standard is my own standard. So like, do I feel that I could be part of the dialogue? Do I feel that like my model is good enough to where people will take notice, and then look at the other ones and take more notice?
Wow, this guy looks. Never mind. What is Wow.
Wow, what's Ben Comet's doing? This is amazing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of a goal. So like, being able to paint dirt to where it looks like dirt, that'd be pretty cool. Dude, I was looking at was it Ferret Forge, our buddy over Dante.
Yeah.
Like looking at that that Warhound he was doing. I was really impressed. Like the guy has been painting for, I don't know, only a couple of years, but like the display board that that he painted for it, not display board, but the plinth, the base. Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looked like dirt. And like I think he even like, cause there's supposed to be a recess in it where there's going to be water. I built it. So like that was the intent. Like, all right, Dante, I'm going to make this hard on you because you've never done water effects. Now you have to. How do I do water effects? I don't know. I've never done it either. Ha ha. But now you have to.
Then you throw a smoke bomb and vanish.
Yeah. Boosh. God.
And then all you can see is your hat poking up from behind a chair.
Ted, are you still at my house? No.
There's a sock with spooge on it on the floor. But so I think but he did like these like stratums of like of moisture. It looked like on the base too, to where it looked like he was kind of leading up to having like moist dirt versus drier dirt, like as you go up the bank. So I thought that was really impressive. And then like the different stratums of just soil. So
yeah, he pretty much crushed that.
Yeah.
So you're taking camo with Duncan.
Yeah, because I want to do the Tau.
That as he's painting, that you won't be able to see the model.
Oh, that's essentially a joke
Duncan,
my dad would have made.
Duncan,
That's essentially,
sir,
you are my dad.
You painted the camo. We can't. I see the stream on this. There's nothing there. You're just holding air. Anyway, that's
Dave,
all I had. That was. I've been sitting on that.
Spank yourself.
The camera. I spank myself every night. What are you talking about?
And Ted, you'll be happy to know that there is no qualifiers for Crystal Brush.
I thought there was actually.
Nope. Pick one of 8 categories because I love you, Ted, but you are not young talent.
Nope.
He's younger
Gray
than
balls.
us. So technically, by default, he's the young talent.
He's not younger than me, and he's not
Yeah.
younger than
Well,
14.
you look older than he does.
That's true.
Oh,
I'm a very old-looking man.
so we might be looking for a third chair on our podcast. Anybody out there?
As I've just been burned awfully. But yeah, pick one of 8 categories and go to 10.
Oh, cool.
I think you should go with anything with flesh tones. Because if memory serves me correct, you're really good at flesh tones.
So just a naked dude. Oh man,
there's a hydraulic legs category.
Hydraulic
it
legs?
really?
No.
Oh.
Why the fuck if there's 8 categories?
Dude, I don't follow the
Why
Crystal
would
Brush.
one-
I'll never be that good.
I said there was 8 categories he was eligible for. Do you really think a nationally ranked painting competition would have a best in hydraulic legs category?
Yes.
As one of their 8 main categories.
It's the weird offshoot category. Like they've got best sci-fi, best this, best that, and then best robot legs. I mean
that's sci-fi.
So Russian hackers are like a dime a dozen. Like I could just like hire one to make a 9th category, right?
Best
How
in
hard
Ted.
could it be?
best.
You'll finally get that Best in Ted award.
Yes. Thank you, Russian hackers. You're the best.
Well, we've gathered you all here today.
And how again does this affect the Hillary? It does.
Sure, I got the rest of the emails right here. Just
You want Ted to win instead of Hillary.
that's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's adorable.
Oh, all right.
So anyway,
We've been
good
talking
times.
for like
Long time. Way too long.
hour.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a waste of your
all
time.
That's all good.
It's a waste of everybody's time.
Ted,
Sorry, everybody. Sorry. If it makes you guys feel any better, I just turned us off an hour ago.
Ted, we're gonna bid you adieu.
Yeah.
Right now.
Talk about the book that I didn't read all the way.
Dave and I are going to talk about the book and what can be a very serious conversation.
man.
Super serious.
Super serious.
Super cereal.
Thanks, Ted. Dave and I are going to be back to talk about Ghost Warrior after this here break.
Fear consumed my every waking moment. It wasn't rational, but there it was, ruining my life. Then one day I came across a book called How to Be a Cheating Asshole. From the very first chapter, it helped me to confront my fear head on. In a world filled with easy answers and cheap solutions, How to Be a Cheating Asshole showed me that the way out of my despair was to use loaded dice and not declare what I'm rolling. Its message was so strong and so real that it put me on the road to a happier, more fulfilling life. And it made my fear a part of my past.
Stop by your local retailer now for a copy of How to Be a Cheating Asshole. Also available in audiobook, read by somebody who only sounds like Donald Trump.
Also, I was mad that I could not find it in paper.
Oh,
That
man.
made me so mad.
So, Dave, we're back.
Yay!
We're Tadless. Tad has retired to do grown-up things.
All because he didn't want to hear about spoilers.
We're talking about the first Black Library novel to really deal with Inari. And they kind of, their structure, how they work, a little bit about their character. And we're talking about Ghost Warrior by Gav Thorpe. Gav Thorpe, of course, very fantastic author. He's done lots of Eldar books.
Oh, loves Eldar.
Probably like the number one resource for Eldar knowledge that the Black Library currently has. So a very obvious person to do this book. A lot of the times when we do book reviews, we kind of go and kind of summarize the story as we go and kind of talk about our thoughts about it.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to do that this time.
I don't think we can.
And it's going to be very apparent. The first 2/3 of this book were very tough for me. There was a very difficult job of things that had to be established before anything could really happen. You had to establish how Craftworld Eldar were in the post-Rift era of 40k.
Right.
You had to establish how the Inari were in the post-Rift era of 40k.
Yep.
You had to establish how the Inari interacted with Craftworld Eldar in post-Rift 40k. You had to establish how the Inari interacted with themselves. You had to establish whereabouts they were in their mission to receive the Crone Swords. And there was a lot that had to go into making it, especially because we're focusing on the premier Inari characters of their triumvirate. You have
Yvrain,
and
the Vizark,
the Vizark, and
Yanid, right?
The Avatar of Nid.
Yeah.
All the wiser eyes.
Yeah.
That's something for that. And it felt a lot like Game of Thrones met the elven scenes from Lord of the Rings.
It's an apt description, actually.
For a lot of it. That's kind of the read I got because, honorable houses and, all the conversation. Essentially, we'll summarize it a little bit, but we begin our adventure. And again, throughout this book, there's several moments where I was like, okay, this would make an amazing diorama.
Yeah.
For example, the one I really want to make or have Ted make for AdeptCon,
right.
And wink, wink when you're editing this.
Yep.
Is at the start when they are fighting towards a portal, and half of the army is in the Garden of Nurgle, and the other half is in the real realm. I think if you do a diorama with like that portal in the middle of the diorama and Garden of Nurgle this side, regular world on the other side, like a couple of characters going through like color changes, it would be fantastic.
That's totally a Crystal Brush winning entry
it
right
really
there.
is.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, so and
you give one guy robot legs, and then you
that's two categories.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we join kind of the Nari going through the Garden of Nurgle, trying to get a MacGuffin.
Yeah, the hand of
the psychic spooky hand Mortarion.
Yeah. From Mortarion's castle.
Yeah, and they get that and they escape, and then on kind of the impetus of Eldrad, Papa Eldrad, they trust the humans with it, right?
Yeah, they give it. They were on a mission for Gulamon.
Yeah, they gave it away, girly man.
I don't.
And then
that was all you heard about that.
Yeah, and so that one went, and that was kind of like for me something I was looking forward to is kind of like seeing their interactions with that. But that's not what the story's about.
No,
but that's okay.
Honestly, I had no idea what the story was about when I was reading it.
I knew it was about Inari. That was it.
That's what I knew. I don't know that the title aptly describes the book at all. Now, it's possible, but the Rise of the Inari Ghost Warrior, I was expecting more of the Ghost Warrior part, which I don't feel like we got. But I did like the book. Like you said, the first half of the book is lore storytelling stuff and filling in the gaps and letting you know exactly what's happening. And it does a very good job of that, but you have to trudge through it to get to the meat of the story. And after reading our last book, which was a mile-a-minute thrill ride from start to finish, it was very difficult to do.
Right. And again, it's kind of comparing like high drama to like the Avengers. The Vaults of Terra book was an Avengers movie where there was good character moments, but it was like action movie, action set pieces, and this was a lot more of a character building drama and kind of trying to flesh out everyone. In particular, flesh out the Vizark. They did a lot of character development on him there, whereas before he was like this stoic, silent person. And we've heard kind of everyone and kind of clips of other books. We've heard from the Gathering Storm books, but the Vizark's always being kind of portrayed as a man of few, where like you're Riddick from the Chronicles. Riddick doesn't really say much.
He's just there to defend you. He's your bodyguard. So.
Yeah. So we meet up with Everin heads to Yandon. The craft world kind of ravaged by Tyranids. And we meet up with a young spirit seer who was it Iana?
Yes, I believe it was Iana.
Iana, who's kind of the last of her house on that craft world.
Last of her house, period, from what they understand.
Because her craft world went missing before the fall. So her craft world was one of the originals to escape before the kind of the birth of Slaanesh murdered them all.
That was Zythura, right?
Yeah. Zathura was an amazing Jumanji ripoff.
I think that was actually the name of the craft world. It was. It's one of the missing craft worlds.
Sure.
If you know Eldar, it is one of the missing craft worlds.
And so she's kind of like one of the last ones. What I really liked about this is the Tyranid taint still kind of being in Ayandon, and kind of talking about specific areas that kind of it hurts to go in because of that psychic.
Right, because they're
in those areas.
Still building it and recovering the soul stones of fallen Eldar from those areas, and that's basically her job as a. She was what was it? A death seer?
Yeah. She had pledged herself to the Nari.
Right.
So she was still doing her stuff on Yandon, but she was also kind of like she had kind of caused her lot in with Everin, and she was kind of all for murdering her entire race to murder a god, which is still super metal.
So she was a spirit seer. Sorry, Iana.
Yeah,
was
like
a spirit seer,
responsible for kind of like
but
the wraith constructs and all that other kind of fun stuff,
and reclaiming lost spirit stones and souls, which basically fits perfectly into joining the Yunari, and makes sense. So,
one of the things I really enjoyed of this early part was some of the the conversation with Eldrad. When they go into Eldrad's room and it's just junky shit everywhere. And she says it's like stuff full of relics and things, and then he's like, "Oh, don't ignore this. It's all just." And then in like the author puts down like he doesn't know what word to use, so he uses the human word stuff.
Yeah,
it's just stuff. And I'm like, just seeing this Eldar dude be like, "Oh, sure, when it was stuff."
He's just a collector of things.
Yeah. He said it's like diplomatic presence, things to use in times of need. Be like, here, I give you this gift to you.
Yep.
Like it really, and this book goes a long way to show that Eldrad is not really paying attention to right now because he's paying attention to like 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah. To what's happening.
Yeah, and this
what's
is already,
going to happen.
This has already
making
happened,
sure it does
so
happen.
he really gives two shits about kind of what's going on right now.
Yeah, he's like that crazy Uncle Hoarder that's just got everything that he needs, but he's looking to make sure that his inheritance goes to the right people.
Yeah,
roughly.
Yeah.
But so they meet because Iana gets called to her craft world leaders, and they say, "Hey, we've if you want to look at it, Zysothrin has returned. They've been gone since they bolted apparently at the time that Slaanesh was born and disappeared.
Yep. And went
into hiding.
So the Yandam wants to go there.
They want to reestablish contact with them.
And then Evrin wants to go there with the Anari because there's a portal there.
The Death Gate, right?
Yeah, Portal of Doom or something like that. Portal, like
the Well of the Dead.
Yeah, the Well of the Dead.
The portal leads to the Well of the Dead, where it's rumored to be the fifth and final Crone Sword.
Yep, Crone Sword they need. So she wants to go there as well. So they kind of launched this joint operation to go to this craft world together.
Now, I really enjoyed a lot of the characters that Gab has introduced us to at this point in time, and the names of which I can't really remember. There's a Harlequin troop leader, badass, and I meant to put notes down in my book, but I didn't. So, Millennium, the leader of her guard, basically.
I always read it as millennial. I got irritated at him.
It was really hard to read. Millennial has a second in command who is a former deacon. Millennial is a Beltan craft world.
Dreamspear was a Harlequin, by the way.
Dreamspear, who is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The autarch, the former deacon who was the second in command for the autarch, who is now leading the Yanari army.
Mm-hmm.
His name I actually do have. Well, because I actually made notes because I had to get it digitally. As Kahar, was it just it's very treacherous looking. Like he'd suspected everything. He'd thrown his lot in with Yanari, but he didn't trust anybody
Because he was Dark Eldar.
Yeah, he's Dark Eldar, and he was constantly making quips and doing stuff just to annoy the ever-loving crap out of Millennial.
Like, I really enjoyed how the Inari were portrayed in this book, and like the way they interacted, where it wasn't, like they weren't all Mormons all of a sudden, where,
we're doing this.
Yeah, we're following the one true God.
Follow our beliefs.
They haven't intrinsically changed as people. Dark Eldar still have Dark Eldar things that they are very suspicious. They prefer to go fast and strike hard. Your aspect warriors of the Inari are still very disciplined and militaristic and kind of things like that there. And that kind of causes some butting of heads sometimes. The Harlequins, from what we see, Harlequins, they don't really follow them. They just kind of tag along.
Yeah, and I like the interaction with the Harlequins and everybody else because they continuously are poking fun at the Harlequins. The Harlequins are like, I'd be offended, but you're right. Do, and then skips away,
Yeah. When we get to the craft world, it's small.
It's not that small.
It's not that small, but it's the ships they send out to meet the Inari fleet are pitiful. It's kind of like
they're old.
They're old. They're beat up. And then when they land, they meet these kind of the Eldari that were there. Asadari was kind of the main guy there. And as soon as they started like the feast and the talking, I was reminded of Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when they're walking them through this magnificent craft world. And
this can be all yours for the low price of...
We first get the fact that something's a little off because they don't have an infinity circuit because they disappeared before the infinity circuit was invented.
So instead they have the group mind, as they called it.
The group mind, which we're going to talk about later, but in retrospect makes it really obvious.
Yes, it really does.
And then they don't have bone singers, so a lot of the places aren't made of bone. They have flesh crafters.
Who are very similar to the homunculi, like the Dark Eldar, right?
Like maybe like homunculi, like good guy homunculis.
They're not crazy, is the way he describes them.
So the walls are made of flesh in some areas, and it's something seems a little off at this point. The Eldar or the Inari, they can't really access the group mind. They're shut off.
They're blocked out from it. It's kind of weird.
A mystery. And the only one who isn't is
it's like pushing on a bouncy house from the outside. You want in, but you can't get in. People are inside having a good time in the group mind, but
But Iana kind of starts to be let in a little bit.
Well, so Iana is the last of her house, of this ruling house on Alatok, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that they... Elandon, right. So the reason they send her instead of anybody else is because her house has family members that were on this craft world, and they've discovered that they believe them to still be there. So she is the linking tie, and they're sending her to try to hopefully mend this, and have them become allies together. So they figured by
bring
using
them back into the craft world fold.
It's they're offering this bait of, hey, look, she's of your family, come on in and have a good time, join us, and so the craft world that they're going to meet sends out her relative, and you can't see it, but I'm going to do air quotes, her relative, who
Fifth cousin, twice removed.
right, who looks very similar to her father. So she's immediately just kind of entranced, and they meet, and then they let everybody from the Ynnari ships onto the craft world, except for all of the constructs,
The
Wraith Knights, Wraith Lords,
all of the Wraith
sides. They say no, we don't want them.
Because that's an affront to the dead.
Right.
Because they don't know of soul stones.
No,
all this
so
other
they
kind
don't.
of stuff.
Yeah, so they're asking about all these questions about soul stones.
Which then raises the question from the Inari and the Yandin thing as well. What the fuck happens? You guys just get eaten by Slanesh when you die? And this is when we kind of learn what the group mind is when one of this kind of craft world dies, their spirit joins one group mind, which is the soul of the entire craft world.
Yeah, that powers the engine, does everything. It keeps
Yeah.
them. So it's basically the craft world is their giant soul stone that they've all,
But at this point, I'm
Part
like,
of.
okay, so your ship's made of flesh, and it's got a giant soul. And like in my head, I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna end well.
There's see in my head I was like, well, cool. They're demons on the thing. They
I did
discuss
sing demons for a little bit.
yeah, well, and demons. We're just going to keep saying bad guys. You see on the outside of the ship that he does a very good job of describing the ship. Looks like it's been beat up badly
to
and
shit.
many times, like it's fought off many. Because they were in the deep dark of the maw, if you will, and the just hiding. And so they were continuously besieged, and they fought stuff off. You see all this battle damage on the ship. There's a giant hole in the ship where it looks like they basically just something nuked them, like a big in the center of their courtyard area of the living spaces, kind of like a big like a bomb went off and just kind of left that pitted hole right there, if you will. And it kind of gets explained later as to why that happened. But Gav has done a great job telling this story so far. Mind you, it was hard to read through.
Okay, so like I said, the first 200 pages were hard. I think knowing going in that you have a lot of world building and a lot of setup going in, then like I said, I think we just coming off of the high of Vaults of Terror, we were like, oh, it's going to be the same thing, but with Inari. This wasn't. Like I said, this had a lot to do, like being the first main Inari book coming out. It had a hell of a lot to do to set the stage.
Well, and he has as the guy that actually like basically created the you need God, 15 years ago or whatnot. He's basically, and he loves Eldar so much. He's got all of this Eldar idea. He had to get it in there for you to understand. I mean, if he hadn't done this world building, it would have been a 100-page book, which would have been okay. But weird to start, at the twist. Be like, here's the twist, go for it. So, and then they get to the craft world and they're meeting there, and Iyanna is like separated, and goes with Saeed off to experience stuff. He takes her to this area, and she feels evil, and he goes, "Oops, sorry," and turns the boat around. In the meantime,
sorry, not that way.
My bad. In the meantime, the cat,
the Grinks,
Ivrin's
Grinks,
is hiding on the boat because it was warm there, and just went for a ride. Like cats do.
I think one of my favorite passages in this book is the page and a half that is told from the cat's perspective, including like very like good thoughts. Good thoughts
until he realizes that he's being hunted, and then takes off at a run because he's a predator and doesn't like being hunted. I thought that was kind of a very. It's like Gab Thorpe lived a cat's life.
At some point, a cat's fallen asleep on his keyboard.
Yeah.
So the cat kind of goes around and then gets attacked,
and
then goes missing,
and then that's it. You're like, what? That's the page ends. Okay, and then it cuts back to the diplomatic scene that's happening, where Yvain and the Autarch or the Vizarch and all of the people are sitting there and they're negotiating terms to visit this well of the dead, like you would, very diplomatically. And then finally the guy says, "Well, I can take you to see it." Because Yvain basically says, I don't necessarily believe you have it anymore.
Yeah.
We're after the Crone Swords. And he's like, oh, you're only after the Crone Swords? Okay, I'll take you to see it. So they split the party again, which, as everybody knows,
So
you don't do.
if anyone's seen any movies, at this point, all of the main characters have left the group and have split off into two. You have Iana, who's kind of going on her joyride with Ego the Living Planet across the craft world.
Family reunion, yeah.
And then you have Ivrin and the Vizark, who have gone after on another side to kind of find the gate.
Yeah, with a bunch of the Vizarks, with the Vizark's bodyguard, and then also the Harlequins have disappeared.
Yeah, the Harlequins have disappeared. Yep, because they are not truly an Ari. They're just there for shits and giggles. Yep, literally.
And then the rest of everybody goes back to this base that they've created for them. They said, you can stay here. And the millennial and the other person are like, we're going with you. And this, we'll be fine.
You're good. Yeah.
We'll be fine. And so they go back to manage the troops, basically. So splitting the party, always a good idea.
Oh, man, yeah. First rule in D&D, always split your party.
Always split the party.
Take your mage and your best warrior. Send them away from you.
Send them away. So, yeah, and so they split off to do their thing. Iyanan is experiencing, she's being talked to by her uncle. We'll call him uncle, kind of, by her uncle, and about the group mind and how she can join the group mind and how everybody should, just join the group mind and call it a day. And she starts to experience stuff, and excuse me. Yvain's cat is getting fucked up.
Yep.
And Yvain is down there at the gate talking to this perfunctionary guy who is kind of a leader-ish and saying, hey, can we work this? And the perfunctionary says, oh, well, we have to run some tests on it. We don't even know if it works first. And at that point, I kind of went, how do you not know that your shit works or not?
Yeah. You've been away for over 10,000 years.
You've been living on this for a while.
I'm sure one of you guys has been like, I'm going to go tinker with the gate.
Yeah. I'm going to check to make sure the gate's working, And then they're calling IT. Hey, the gate's not working. Did you try turning it off and on again?
I don't know how to turn it on.
That's the problem. It's not turning on. All right. I'll send Moss up. And then you get the other third part of this kind of like councilman group thing. So you have the uncle who is one, you have the group, the guy that's with Yvain and the Autarch, and then you have the other guy who shows up, Vizark, sorry. The Autarch is millennial, was an Autarch. He heads over to the encampment with some troops and says, hey, we've had some trouble with demonic incursions, so we want you guys to be safe. It'd be bad on us if we let you get effed up while you're here on our craft world. So, we've got it contained and we don't have to worry about it, but I'm going to put all of these guys here and all these weapon platforms and everything else around you. And that was,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, that was, and at that point, the suspecting, Askar, the former
Dark
deacon,
Eldar,
Dark Eldar, says, hey, so this is a fucking trap.
And all the craft world out are like, that's fine.
And Millennial's like, I usually trust your judgment. Go ahead and send X out, and they do. They hide while these guys are setting everything up. They hide all of their jet bikes and the Falcon grav tanks.
This is for your protection that we're putting all of these giant guns pointing at you.
Right. Well, they were pointing away at first, so yeah, there you go. That's what's going on, and I don't feel like we can actually reveal this twist without completely ruining the book. Because
okay, so I'm going to give everyone 15 seconds to stop listening, and then I will spoil this entire book. Literally, like, the thing that made me go, it's okay. I mean, it's good to learn about Eldar culture. To, oh my god, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So, just 15 seconds of dead air. Or I mean, you like 5 seconds.
5 seconds is fine.
Yeah, 5 seconds is fine.
So I've had time to turn it off now.
Yeah. Okay. So the Iana is with her uncle, father, brother.
You're right.
They go to the center of the craft world. All of the walls are flesh. They're described as being throbbing from the veins behind it, from these flesh crafters kind of repairing the craft world. And they go to the throne of the avatar, Kane's avatar of this craft world. It's described in the center of the hall was a far smaller chamber ringed with fronds of dark red flesh lying with consecutive rows of barbs, reminding her of a shark's mouth. Tendons extended from the masses, connected to a bronze and iron frame wrought about a cylindrical skeleton of wraithbone, the throne room of the Avatar. And then all kinds of fun stuff happens. And then it turns out the Avatar is actually an Avatar / Gene Stealer patriarch, which is the most fucking metal thing.
So, in our last book, we were like, oh, it's Gene Stealers, it's Gene Stealers, it's Gene Stealers. Oh, fuck, it's not Gene Stealers.
This one I'm like, it's chaos, it's chaos.
It's chaos. It's chaos.
Oh,
fuck, it's fucking Gene Stealers. I messaged you when I got to that part because you said get there, and I was like, ugh.
Because we were all like, none of us were expecting like a completely political, like world-setting thing. So we're like, oh god,
it's all political.
It's all politics. It's all talking. And then you got, and I'm like, just get to page 200, guys.
Except that I was reading it on my mobile device, so the page wasn't
to
quite
page
right. So I was
like,
I don't know what 200 is, and I'm counting down at this point to 200. By the way, I passed 200 before I got to that, so I was pretty pissed at you at 200. I was like, no. But when it revealed to be, and so she's not aware of it being a Gene Stealer because at this point she has touched the father, uncle, brother's hand, and joined the group.
To drink
mind.
that Kool-Aid.
She hasn't drank the Kool-Aid yet, but she's entering the arena where the Kool-Aid is and ready to. She's thinking about doing it, and like she can be with her family, and they're saying all the right stuff like Gene Stealers do, and cut away to the next scene where the Harlequin dream singer, right?
Yeah, the bone singer.
Well, no, the dream
spirits here.
No. The Harlequin,
Dream Spear.
Dream Spear shows up at the gate where Yvrain the Vizark and the Incubi bodyguard are, and goes, "Hey, I found your cat. I've saved it." And then it cuts back to the scene where he saves the cat, and then takes off running and explains exactly what's going on with Gene Stealers. And people go, "What?"
I was like, "What?" Yeah.
Because when the cat gets attacked, you're talking about tendrils and all sorts of stuff. And I'm thinking, well, tendrils, that's smoky tendrils choking the life out of the cat and clawing at it. That sounds like demons to me. So I still don't know exactly how it was.
Zasthura was no different in the respect for, in the core of the craft world, sat a creation not of mortal origins. The creature inside the inner sanctum sat upon the bronze throne of Kalamenj Kane, brooding and majestic like the avatars of Kane across the galaxy. It was forged of immortal dark iron and bright flame, but in Zathura's, its body was also grown from the natural flesh of the craft world's body. Its face was elongated, steel teeth-like daggers beneath a brow ridge with nodules of iron bone. Eyes of burning embers regarded Diana, like perfect black diamonds lit with a spark in their center. Its smoke-wreathed body was heavily ribbed, a hard carapace of bronze that shimmered as though still molten, armored over flesh that pulsed. I want this fucking model.
Well, you can add that to Ted's list of things to make for
like
him.
Okay, part patriarch, part avatar.
Yeah,
and they go on till I was like, it's a lot of confusion in the creature because it's part demigod, part alien parasite.
Yeah, I don't know how the Gene Stealers infected this craft world. I mean, obviously, Hulk crashed into them and everything tore into it, and that's basically how it works. But I'm with you. The descriptive nature of that, I was only picturing that old metal avatar worked onto the old metal patriarch model from the 90s that they had. Just kind of just this big massive thing with the sword. And
I was like picturing something in between like the Avatar and the Grotesque from the Dark Eldar range. Because it says all the flesh. So there's flesh on this thing, and it's like so it's gonna be charred and burned, and it's just the patriarch is the Avatar of Cain.
Yeah.
And then I think
was the Avatar of Cain.
They give something away in the chapter earlier where one of the bad craft world, like a third arm appears from a rope with a gun or something like that. And I'm like, ooh.
Well, and you're thinking about the flesh crafters and whatnot. It kind of made sense a little bit to some degree.
And you can see now why the group mind worked, and why they didn't fall to Slanesh when they died. was Shadows of the Warp. When Tyrians are around, they're essentially immune to that psychic shit.
Yep.
So the Shadows of the Warp is protecting their souls, and like I look back and I look at the descriptions, it's a flesh ship, living ship with a soul. Oh fuck, it's Tyranids.
Yep.
It's a group mind. Oh fuck, it's Tyranids. It's Tyranids.
Yeah, and a fantastic twist because I wasn't seeing it.
Really, I didn't see coming. I was expecting demons. Especially because the first big battle in the book is demons.
Right, they're given. So the thing I liked about the big battle in the very beginning of the book, when they talk about the portal on one side, was Ahriman was fighting for the Black Library, the Eldar's Black Library place, trying to access it, and that's where the portal was that they had accessed Mortarian's castle from. And when they showed up, Ahriman was like, I'm good. I'm going to go. I've been called away to do something else. But you guys go ahead and keep trying to get into that Black Library for me.
Yeah, shit just got real. Goodbye.
Oh, that's a god. Never mind, I'm out. So, but yeah, back to the thing. So the shit hits the fan. Yvain and the Vizark and the Ink by Bodyguard attack the people that are down there, and then they get swarmed by real fucking gene stealers.
The best thing, so what happens then was Dreamspear shows up, and they're like, oh, yo, what up, Harlequin? Where the fuck you been? It's like, oh, nowhere. Saved your cat, by the way. Oh, by the way, this place is full of gene stealers.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what?
Yeah, and then that was when the third arm, then a third arm comes out. He's like, what? You spoiled it. And the third arm comes out from the the patriarch, or the Magus guy that was there guarding him, and is like holding a las pistol, like, well, you ruined everything. Now you have to die. And
I was like, what?
Well, in my thoughts, I was like, that guy's by himself. He's fucked.
Oh, yeah.
That guy, you're gonna die. And then and Dreamsinger says, by the way, there's like tons of pure strain gene stealers coming up right behind me. So get ready. It's fight time.
Yay. So yeah, they fight. They fight gene stealers. I love the descriptions of all this fight. Again, the goal here is to get Iana, the last surviving member of their house, untainted, to drink the blood of the patriarch, so that she too will be infected with the gene stealer, and she'll be able to make future generations of gene stealer babies, and keep this weird ass
hot
brood
stealer
hive
porn
thing coming.
Right.
A really good part is like she's like being touched by the group mind, so she's like super like almost doing it. Like she touches the chalice with his blood to her lips. She is like about to do that, like drink it. She like puts it up so it touches, like the blood touches her lip. And then like they did a really good job in this book. I didn't talk about enough of describing the psychic realm as opposed to the physical realm. And then she kind of pushes away all the psychic tendrils and essentially throws the cup to the ground. And she's like, no, because they're like, oh yeah, come join your family. We're all family. Yeah, come meet your father. And then she sees like images of her father and sister and everything everywhere. And then she just throws a cup to it. She's like, my family are dead.
Yep.
And then shit gets super real. The descriptions for the battles. I
really
loved
well done.
Every death for the bad guys, or the Zethurians, made the hive mind weaker, or sorry, the group mind weaker. Whereas every death of the Nari made them stronger, and it really showed strength from death in a really great way.
Yeah, it was a great depiction of it. I liked it a lot, and the fact that they were the force, the army that was left behind at the encampment when the alarm goes up and they just start shooting guys. You know, the bad guy, the gene stealer Eldar starts shooting guys, raises the flag, and they fight and and he's like, hey, now's a good time to bring in that dagger to stab our guys in the back. So these, they come roaring in with their jet bikes and their Falcon grab tanks, and they're fighting stuff off, but they're kind of losing because they're outnumbered. Even though strength and death, they get stronger. They get going. They jump on the Dark Eldar raiders that they had with them, and they take off. Everybody that's left, they're like, we're out of here.
Get fucked. Bye.
So they get on it. They're like they're going, and as Kier, and this is one of my my favorite lines in the book, which is why I highlighted it, which is something I've never done in any of these, was the Dark Eldar says, this is all well for now, beside me on the deck of the Raider, but we cannot flee indefinitely. At some point, we're going to run out of dome. And the Autarch Millennial says, sometimes it's not important where you're running to, only what you're running from. Adapt. That is the greatest lesson I've learned from the Inari. Death waits for us all. It's not too wise to plan ahead. I was just like, it doesn't matter where you're running to. It just matters what you're running from. So let's go. Let's get out of here. So they just take off, and they're just cruising around on the Raiders, firing shots back at these crappy grab vehicles that are really old. Kind of, in my head, I had pictured them as like that episode 1 droid deployer, slow hover tank thing, just kind of like, But yeah, so they bounce, and they're.
I enjoyed the depiction of it was the Lord of the Rings where Gandalf goes to see the King of Rohan, and they're like, "You let him in here with his staff? What?" It was when Iana made the spear appear from nowhere, and they're like, "What?"
Oh yeah, he's like, "What? You came in? You don't even have your spear?" And she's
like, "Fuck you, I do."
The spear is a representation of my anger, which I always have with me. Whom spear.
Oh man, watch some Avengers before you wrote that bit. I'm always angry.
That's my secret. I'm a spirit seer.
Another great description was talking about the Patriarch moving. Or the Aviarch. I haven't decided.
Yeah, like he wasn't used to his body. It didn't fit him.
It screeched in its own bloodlust as the Patriarch hauled its bulk from the iron chair, hampered by its unnatural hybrid form. Neither demigod nor alien broodfather, the Patriarch was not comfortable in its own body and slashed a clumsy blow. And again, it's just this shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
How do you awaken an avatar? You kill someone and their blood gets in there.
Yep.
The fuck did the Gene Stealer have sex with a dude and killed him just as he impregnated and died and put into the it's super cool, so I'm not going to ask too deep into that question, but
it's a really cool description of a bad guy, and but at the same token it makes sense that he would not be able to, or she, could be either way, would not actually be able to utilize the demigod's powers, even though it resembled it, so
here we go. Here it says, for each loss the Zethurians, the group mind was diminished. For every Inari death, ... I'm like, oh, I know where you're going with that.
I know what ... means.
So yeah, we have our fight on 3 fronts. We have kind of our group of no-name characters and red shirts fighting against the majority of the army in the back. We have Evrin, a bunch of Incubi, and the Vicearch fighting against a bunch of pure strange Gene Stealers. And you have Iana fighting against
a young spirit seer by herself against a patriarch,
an avatar, and a
nice avatar. Good word.
Avatar, and a bunch of younger generations all at the same time, and it's described as all of this death happening and soul swirling, and they're like not enough to summon the avatar of Anid yet, but then more people die and more people die. And then Ivrin kills herself to make the avatar of Anid come through. And she summons it beside Iana here. It's described as, a scream wrenched from every fiber singing with razor pain as the manifesting entity passed through her. So it's almost like, she's like the avatar's coming out of her, and just the idea that it's causing so much pain. It is amazing. I just figured, a lot of people died. He's like, oh, souls. Right, I'm going to wake up now. But no, it's agony to get this guy out. And I'm like, man, that's your savior from being eaten, is being fucking murdered for that. And they describe it as they had Iana act as a conduit to release the avatar of Nid into the group mind, into the psychic kind of veins of the craft world.
Because she's there with the patriarch. Like she kills the patriarch, the avatar.
No, the avatar kills the patriarch.
Well, I thought that. I might have missed that then, because I thought that she stabbed through him with the spear.
She might have,
which was what caused the weakening of the mind enough that the avatar get released.
He did the final blow.
Yeah.
But what I've learned from this book in Gathering Storm is do not summon Avatar of Nid on a craft world.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a bad idea.
That's a very bad idea, because he went through the Infinity and shit started breaking up and exploding and going everywhere. And essentially every Gene Stealer died when the Avatar came. the Avatar was goddamn unstoppable and murdered everyone. And then, what they talk about is after the battle. After the battle, Ivrin walks around and just starts bringing people back to life. Like, she brings herself back to life because, it is not done with her yet.
People that aren't completely dead, but only mostly dead.
Yeah, she brings them back to life. People are just very recently dead.
She
brings them back to life.
She miracle maxed them. She's like, you're not going to be useful for like another 6 hours. Don't try to raid any castles. I mean,
what I thought was interesting as well was it described that Ivrin in some way controls the actions of the Avatar and almost become like a Bruce Banner Incredible Hulk kind of thing. And she had to pull herself back before she like kind of got destroyed completely by it.
right.
Yeah, and that's how that craft world kind of ends.
And I thought that was the end of the book.
I thought that was the end of the book too, but no, because we both forgot about the portal. The whole goddamn reason they're there.
The whole reason we're there. Well, in my head, I was like, well, the group mind is dead. They can't activate the portal, except that they can because they've got
killed enough people,
enough souls to access the well of the dead.
The gate of malice.
So
and what I really liked, it said, Vern said it fed on their deaths, and the Vizark is like, death holds no lure for Cain, only the taking of life. Okay, and I'm like, oh, that's the same thing, but no, I really like that.
Yeah.
So the gates activated for all of this taking of life going on around them. Very Korn, by the way. And they go through the portal to the first Eldar world.
Yep, the world of the Eldar Father, the gravesite of it, the well of the dead.
And it was, oh man, and this is when
the sigil of Eldanesh, the first father of the Eldari.
And this is when shit hits the fan more because we have a bunch of Inari through the gate now, and a giant avatar. I would like to assume would be a Forge World avatar.
Yes.
Kind of takes over all of the aspect warriors and makes them attack all of the other
everything.
Inari.
Everybody's just attacking.
So the Vice
everybody
attacks Ivrin. The striking scorpions start attacking everyone else, and it's kind of just chaos and murder. There's a part at the start of the book that says Cain cares not from where the blood flows, pretty much, and I'm like, oh yeah, your gods are pretty much just the chaos gods, just with different names. It's like Korn put on a fancy mustache.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm Cain today.
It's the fight scene to me was similar to the first Kings when they activate the cell phones and everybody just starts beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
except for Millennial.
Yeah,
who goes, I'm gonna resist, and starts trying to resist, and then takes on the Avatar himself because he's a badass.
Yeah, and the little Millennial wins. He's called a War Shard, which, Jesus Christ, Forge World, please give me rules so I have a reason to take your 18-foot tall Avatar.
Oh, the War Shard was...
As a competitive player, I'm not going to take one that's 4 times the size.
But as a fluff player, 4 times the size would be awesome.
It's a beautiful model, and I have it, and I might just add skin to it now. But yeah, there's a very good kind of fight scene between the Vizark and Ivrin. I love the way it talks about how because the Vizark trained Ivrin pretty much.
Yeah.
He knows everything, so whenever she does something, he changes his stance really subtly and counters everything immediately.
And he is whipping the ever-living shit out of her. And she knows she's gonna die. So yeah, you've got that fight happening, and then Millennial takes on the Avatar, challenges him.
The War Shard,
and the War Shard just starts charging him, and the footfalls are just thundering, and Millennial realizes that his legs broke, so he's like, I'm fucked. And so he took damage while making his way over to fight the Avatar, and is like, my legs broke, fuck. Takes down to a knee and gets his spear ready and is like analyzing the Avatar and like the points of weakness and where he can strike, and he's getting ready to strike. And one of the Wraith constructs just goes barreling right by him like, fuck the Avatar, punch.
We never talked about the Wraith construct. It's a Wraith Knight. He was awesome. He was
kind of a dick, actually.
He was a huge dick.
He's like the well, I guess the best way, he's Iannan's companion, kind of. And she refers to him as the 3-named god the Cain avatar many times, like that he was an avatar, and after he died, got put into this. So something along those lines. He's a trained warrior, and he's not feeling the effects of the War Shard's rage spell effectively, and takes him on to try to defeat him.
And defeat him he does. Very surprising with help, but he gets defeated.
I mean, he gets. It's a very good description of a fight between an
immortal demigod,
yeah, and a guy
dude with years of training,
guy who has no chance of winning, but is doing it anyway, because if without it, all's lost. You just do what you got to do, and the demigod is carving him up and smashing him, and finally beats him down, and that's when Iana steps in and throws her magical super spear and hits him right in the back of the neck.
Yep. And strike 2 for the spear.
And then we cut back to the Vizark and Urain, and she says, "Fuck it," and kills herself, summoning the Avatar again.
Yeah.
Who then finishes off the Avatar of Cain
again,
the War Shard.
Yeah.
And then just kind of disappears after that, I guess. I'm not really
all
sure.
The souls are gone.
He goes, "Oh well, she's dying," and the Avatar comes over and kind of grabs her, and like tendrils are stretching out from him to her as she's floating and whatever they're doing, and his power flows back into her, and it's basically like, "You're not dead. You're not done yet.
No,
keep going.
I'm not finished with you."
Yeah. You have more to do for me. So
post battle, I was like, "Oh shit, I'm so sorry. Oh, sorry, I attacked you. Oh god, that's so embarrassing. I'm so sorry." But then like, that's fine, and they walk up to the tomb, and some people don't want to go. They think it's sacrilegious. They should leave it alone.
Right.
But they need this 5th crone sword so they can genocide their entire race to kill a god. And they get there, and there's no sword. And it's like, oh,
womp, womp.
Womp, womp.
I was sad. I really wanted there to be a sword after all the shit that they went through.
Yeah.
But instead,
all they found was the heart of Eldanesh.
Yeah. Just the heart of their father.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Which Millennial grabs. And then as he grabs it, he is transformed into another War Shard avatar.
Yeah, I was like, there's not enough pages left for this to go sideways again. So
it's probably going to be pretty happy. There's only 20 pages. And then, he kind of says, "I'm going to hang out here, make sure this place stays safe. Oh, but, I'm all cool with you now. I'm not going to try and murder you, even though, because you murdered me before."
He's Millennial's in control of it. Effectively, but he's just going to stay there as the War Shard from now on.
Yeah,
by himself, lonely.
Which I like, because it means there's a possibility I can have an Avatar of Cain in a Gene Steel army. No, in an Ari army.
Gab Thorpe said it was true. It's in one of his books, so it's canon now.
Please, GW, you have to make rules now. But yeah, that was the book. I feel it needed the Gene Stealer twist in there.
If it had just been demons, I probably would have been sad.
Yeah,
because I was looking forward to this book, because Gab Thorpe is one of my favorite authors of all time.
Very good with Eldar,
and he loves the Eldar, so I knew he knew this stuff. And what he did is he took us on a journey, explaining his vision of the Eldar, which is great. But
the problem is we needed to know how Inari culture works.
Yeah. We really did, and
we needed to know how Inari interacted with other craft worlds.
Yeah,
we had a little bit of it in Gathering Storm, but
not really,
not enough to kind of make this work.
Yeah,
I like the parallels it drew for how the Inari were treated by the Eldar to how the Zithurians were treated by the Inari. There was kind of the similar things. They're like, oh yeah, we do things differently. We think this. So
yeah.
I feel. If it wasn't an Ari involved or the Inari never met, the Eldar would have gone in guns fucking blazing. Like, what do you mean there's no soul stones? Let's get you guys fucking out of here.
Yeah.
But because of the Inari, it kind of changed how they did there. I thought Ivrin was pretty good. She didn't really have as many standout moments as I thought she would in the book. It really was about Iana and her journey and kind of her family and kind of closure with her house. And the Vizark was a very good character in this here.
Really
we
was.
learned a lot more about him and his motivations and kind of his thoughts on things. We learned he doesn't bullshit a lot. He's just very straightforward. This is how it is. Which I have enough silent champions in my fantasy, so I kind of like a little bit of development for them there.
Yeah, because up until this, basically, that's all he was just this silent bodyguard that, existed. And that's who led Incubi. Great. Yeah. Woo.
But the book really captured how the Inari play on the table. It showed off specific... I mean, that's a goal of a Black Library book. It's just to buy models.
Yeah.
And, it really displayed well. It flows really well with how Inari are and how Inari play.
And they weren't soul bursting all the time either. They were just waiting for the right time to soul
because
burst, like
the
once
amount
per
of
turn.
souls they needed. Yeah. So obviously it's narratively that's how it's supposed to be.
So,
but yeah, like I said, I guess I went in. I need to stop going into books and not doing any research first, because I'm like going in blind. I feel is thing as I said, it's good, but I was expecting like Independence Day, not like a very thoughtful kind of like deconstruction of modern Eldar society.
Yeah, and I basically suggested this book not because I have any particular love of the Eldar, and I definitely don't have any love of the soul-bursting Ynnari, but I went in with a love of Gav. I wanted to read it because I've always enjoyed Gav's stories and Gav's books, so, for me, when I got started reading, I was like, no, this isn't anything like I thought it was going to be, and if you hadn't basically said, just get to page 200, I wouldn't have muddled through it. So, It was great, and I recommend the book. Especially,
I do recommend the book. Realize that it is there. The purpose of this book is to set the stage for how the Inari are, or how they their motives and their actions in the new 40K with the Great Rift.
Yeah, and to also establish the next book and further book, because this is supposed to be a series detailing and explaining the freeing of this god of Ynid, and raising her from the dead and everything else.
Similar to kind of his path books for the Eldar, and then the Dark Eldar ones as well. And yeah, it's like I said, it's good. I do enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Like I said, there were times when it was just dinners and trade route conversations, and things like that,
and political intrigue, and it just kind of it drug on a little bit, but it was worth it. The payoff at the end was worth it.
Oh, for sure.
It was like working that 40-hour week where you also have to work 40 hours of overtime. It sucks during that time period, but once you get to that payday,
oh man,
is that sweet. That's
I mean, I don't think it was quite an 80-hour work week.
Well, but to put it into a description, it was worth it. The payoff was worth it. It allowed me to buy my Warlord Titan at the end. I'm good. Just need my my Avatar of Cain Patriarch model, and I'm good.
Oh, please. People more skilled than me make that.
Yeah, more skilled than me, because I can't work with resin. If I could find all plastics of that stuff, I could probably make that happen. But I don't know that they're plastics anymore. I think they're all either metal or resin from Forge World, aren't they? Everything good?
Yeah, everything good is resin.
Yeah.
That's Forge World's logo at the bottom of their website now. Everything good is resin.
Trademark mob rules.
Yeah, so that was the first Rise of the Inari book, Ghost Warrior. I'm excited to see where they go. Iana is now a main character. Millennial's hiding around as an avatar. And then, we still have our main duo of Rin and the Vizark.
And the cat, the Grinks.
And the Grinks.
As we've been reading these books, I've found myself more and more wanting to make these characters out of models. Like she's a spirit seer, so it wouldn't be that hard to model a spirit seer with a sword or a spear.
I would just do the Bone Singer, like that limited edition.
Well, it's too late now.
Well, I have one. Wink.
La-di-da. But I mean, minor characters. Every time we read a book, the minor characters are the ones that I want to make a model and put into an army. And then I think about it and go, Eldar aren't competitive in 8th yet? No.
Eldar are pretty good. Remember, 8th is all rock, paper, scissors. When you have really good built lists, and you have really equal players, it's rock, paper, scissors. I
don't make really good built lists. I run all Primaris, which I believe, as we've established, is the best army ever. So,
oh, yeah.
I've never lost to an army that wasn't better than mine.
Oh, I can lose to you pretty hard.
I bet.
But yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
That's it. It's on Black Library as an ebook, $16. It's also on iBooks.
Should paperback in March
paperback
if you want to wait for
it's
it.
March right now is a hardback for $27. These hardbacks are killing me.
I couldn't find it in hardback. I messaged you guys on that.
Yeah.
I said I wanted to read
I
it.
do
in paperwork.
enjoy the ebook though, being able to highlight as I go.
It
Because
is-
then I have a section where.
Wait,
I
but
click
you have it
the
on an iPod, and I have it on an
I do.
You have it on an iPad, and I have it on an iPhone, so it's very difficult for me to
I
read.
bought myself an Apple Watch this week. I think I might try and see if I can read the Apple Watch version, which would be like 27,000 pages.
Go ahead and message me when you're done with that. That'll be fantastic. So,
And I'll use my voice to message you through my new Apple Watch.
all right. So
Yeah, that was it. We're going to take a quick break. When you come back, wrap things up.
Yep. So that anybody that stopped listening can start listening again.
Well, I mean, that was a long time ago.
Do you like cookies but want something more British? Buy biscuits. Not like those you have for gravy. British biscuits. For dunking in your British tea. Stiff upper lip guaranteed. Biscuits. As recommended by Queen Liz of the Britons.
And we're back.
Woo!
Woo!
All right. So
I mean, that was I mean, we could do fake spoilers now, like things that that weren't.
so
that didn't
demons.
happen.
It was demons from start to finish.
It was it was Zinch.
Yeah.
It was a Zinch
Bloodthirster. It was a
It was a
combo.
Zinch.
It was a combo.
Zinch
Bloodthirster.
It was a giant red demon with tiny rainbow wings.
Yeah.
It was Dark Angels showed up.
And
The hive mind was Luther.
yeah, it turns out it was the Fallen the whole time.
Yeah,
It
bastards.
was Cypher.
Emperor. It was the hive mind was the Emperor, and they all went to the Emperor.
They need to just let the Emperor die
Yeah,
the rest of the way, full on die, so he can be reborn as his perpetual self. But that's another topic for another day.
that is real quick before we go. I do have I googled 40K questions, and I want you to answer some questions for me.
All right, what do you got?
Is there any evidence that 40K lifted these races from Star Trek?
From Star Trek?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly, but everything is lifted from everything else. Ideas have been around for a long time. You can find inspiration in just about anything. I mean, orcs and goblins and elves, that's all Tolkien, effectively. But but if you have some sources you'd like to cite for me, that would be fantastic.
How does secret chapters like the Grey Knights and the
Space Sharks
get Tech Marines?
Well,
Do they get like
hold
iron-on
on.
patches for like Ultramarine logos?
no. Do Grey Knights actually have Tech Marines?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they do.
Well, the Space Sharks. Do they get like
Space Sharks were an actual full-on chapter that's serving penance, so those Tech Marines were with them to begin with.
Well, so when they die, they just don't get replacements.
Can't you just put on a Tech Marine's armor?
Does Sisters of Battle ever retire?
Yes, to a farm upstate New York.
They go with Sparky to the farm.
Yes.
Would a weapon stolen from an orc in one-on-one combat work against the orc that it was stolen from?
I don't know why it wouldn't. It's just a weapon.
What if the orc you stole it from believes that it doesn't? But the orc...
So
if you have a high duel and you have two orcs, orc A and orc B,
okay,
orc A believes that orc B's gun doesn't work and his does, but orc B believes that his gun works but orc A's doesn't. What happens?
it's a stalemate. They all go out for pizza and karaoke afterwards.
No, their brains explode.
Probably.
Probably.
As far as a weapon goes, if Scout steals a knife from an orc, yeah, it's going to work because he doesn't have the power of belief.
But what
in it.
about
But
if
a
an
Gretchen
orc steals
it-
a chopper from an orc?
Yeah, I would think actually he might fail. Probably confuse himself, do like some sort of crazy trip acrobatics things to make himself believe it, because that's the way the orcs think.
Those are just cool random questions.
Where did you
from
find those?
2006.
Oh, so in a time machine you found them.
Yeah, I jumped in the Wayback Machine and looked up some 40K stuff. Jumping on the old Twitters real quick.
That's a bad idea. I
I
posted
know.
fat pictures of us already.
I wanted to say hi to Grant Howitt, who posted, make sure you sort of like real Duncan paint tips. Did you see that there? It was like, make sure you sort of chew off the old paint out of your brush and suck it into a vague point to pick out the more precise details in the model.
I didn't
And I'm
see
like,
that.
yes, this is my painting spirit animal. He said, watching Warhammer TV painting tutorials while I struggle with my old kit is confronting. Now, for this part of the model, you're going to want to use the wrong sort of paint in a Citadel fine detail brush you bought in 2005. For this stage, you'll want to use a wash in non-oil and highlight with ash and gray. But Grant, you can just sort of glom your dried up white paint onto some black until it looks kind of okay.
Son of a
It
puss.
says, if you want to paint skin other colors other than Bugman's glow, good fucking luck. Here you'll need to freestyle out black skin by mixing brown and blue paints and hoping real hard.
I wanted to give a shout out before we end up here for the night to our after our last podcast, we had one of our listeners listen and write in his own story.
Oh,
James Widener.
James Widener. Good call, man. Good call.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I was doing while you were pulling that
No,
up.
that's cool, yeah.
Mobile access to the Mob Rules website is a lot harder.
Yeah, we last episode, because we know everyone listens to everyone, so
Right.
I'm not going to summarize it at all. But me, you, and Tad came up with 80s movie and TV characters.
Yep.
And we turned them into
good
40K characters. And some good stuff. The A-Team, great stuff.
James sent us in one. Old Jack Merton.
Yep.
Based off of the.
Don't tell yet.
Well,
Don't tell yet.
you know.
Yeah.
So I just want to give a shout. Just James, thanks for writing into us, and keep it up. Everybody else, if you got any more ideas, different stuff,
keep
that we
sending
didn't-
them.
Yeah, send them in, man. We had a blast.
If you want us to make up more characters, then let us know. Let me suggest a category.
yeah, give us a suggestion.
Like a Sisters of Battle based on Sex in the City. Or
4 badass bitches that I don't even know where.
I don't even know where I would go with that one. Or you have an Imperial Guard squad based off the Fast and the Furious movies. a Astra or Adeptus Mechanicus army based on the Fast and the Furious movies. And you'd have Vin Diesel
Oh God.
and Paul Walker would
All right,
be a tech
I'm
marine.
going to look forward to the next episode. Paul Walker would be a tech marine.
Paul Walker?
No. Ludacris would have been a tech marine.
No, Paul Walker is dead, so his body's reconstituted. It's reused for the purpose of
Spoiler,
others.
in case anybody hasn't seen any of the Fast
Well, I
and
mean,
Furious movies.
He's not dead in the movies. He's
Isn't
dead
he?
in real life. I'm a huge fan of those movies. Yeah, please say you like that, because I want to do that again now.
It was good stuff.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
If you've got anything else you want us to talk about, or just games to play, like eBay Price is Right, you want to see more of that, or
Let me know.
you want us to videotape John getting punched in the sack? We'll do that for you guys. We're here.
You can't
for
punch that low.
We're here. And by the time you hear this, there will probably already be an announcement up on the website. We're going to be doing. I'm going to be running a competition.
What?
A competition, kind of based loosely off of the Tail Gamers. If you've been listening for a long time, you know that we like to do this stuff every now and then. Only this will just be simple. 2018 new army, new unit.
Can it be an existing army?
You can
with
add
a
on
new
to an
unit?
exist. Yes,
Can it be entirely Dreadnought based?
It
'Cause
can.
I'm on board.
How much does a dreadnought cost?
What kind of
Is it a
Dreadnought?
Leviathan?
I have.
Then no.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
A plastic contemptor. You could paint that.
7 different kinds of Dreadnought
To paint?
currently. Yeah.
So basically, I was thinking the rules would be something simple. $50 for the first 2 weeks of January. From the 1st of January to the 15th, you kind of buy whatever you want. Any troop choice, any vehicle that falls under the $50 limit. Paint it up, post it to our page, and we'll put them up. We'll go through them and take our best selections of them every time. We're going to run through the end of February. I was going to suggest that we run to LVO, but John's not going anymore, so that
I mean, I'll be there in spirits. In which I'll be drinking at home.
Right. He'll be wasted. We're going to run it for four time periods. So the first time period will be to the 15th, then to the 30th of January, the 15th of February, and then till the 28th or 29th, how many days there are. And at the end of that, we'll pick our top 10 and have you guys, the listeners. So I'll put it out on Twitter, and we'll post a video up on YouTube about our favorite pictures that you guys have sent us for the ones that you painted. Winner is going to get a fancy custode T-shirt sent to him, and
good old Jeff,
and then a gift voucher to Games Workshop for probably about $50, because that's what I'm feeling like doing. Get that sent to him as well.
It's very spicy,
and you could add more to your army. So
you know what you need to do.
Yes.
You can get in contact with a gentleman called Mini Stomp on Twitter.
I'm in contact with Mini Stomp all the time.
Yeah, get in contact with Mini Stomp instead of a Games Workshop gift.
Yeah, I could do a Mini Stomp.
Do a Mini Stomp.
I'll talk to him.
Which, if you're in the continental United States, is how you should be buying your miniatures.
So, and that is if you want to, unless you're buying them from supporting your local game store.
Support your local game store first.
But barring that,
after the Mini Stomp,
it's he's at Mini Stomp on Twitter. I'm at Alpha Devil in AK.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me a follow, and I tweet a lot of stuff. I'm actually kind of entertaining. I'm doing a meetup with a bunch of guys from.
Very humble.
I'm very humble. This is where you would Ted insert the song "I'm So Humble" from.
Can't afford that.
Sorry. All right, don't insert any songs, Ted. Doing a meetup, a gamer parent gamers at Warhammer World. When I'm over there, somehow I ended up back assward falling into a meetup that was already getting scheduled, and I'm going to go have some scones and play some games.
Nice.
It's going to be fantastic. Meet all the guys that live over there. So yeah, stay tuned for a video announcement of that. Hopefully before Friday, and this airs, so that it doesn't seem weird.
Well, now that you put it out there,
Saturday, I'm going to put it out there Saturday.
The worst.
Yeah, it's just going to be me in a bathrobe, remembering to record it at midnight on Thursday. Hey guys, sorry, the video thing is up. It's an announcement. Listen to the podcast.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Follow Ted at BC4D for some amazing miniatures, conversion and paint jobs in there. And then follow me, I guess. Mob Rules John. No H. Mob Rules JON for occasional updates.
And he does occasionally update, usually when I tag him in something.
Yeah, usually.
And then, head on over to the YouTube and find us there.
Throw a like our way.
Throw a subscribe our way.
And
like
obviously,
the Facebook page.
Do that before watching the videos, because I wouldn't want your likes or subscribes to be tainted by opinions.
Right. Yeah, no. Hit subscribe beforehand, and then you can unsubscribe afterwards. But, if we get up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, then we get nothing except to be able to say
Ted
I have 1,000.
Finally gets some payback for all of the fucking work he's put into that over the past 2 years.
Ted will get the recognition he finds so aptly deserves, and we've denied him for years. So it's like my number one priority. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's us for episode 64.
It's been fun.
5 away from 69. The countdown.
No, this is episode 65. We're 4
away from 69. The countdown to 69 has begun.
Man, that's gonna be a good episode. I can't wait.
So good. It's gonna be ass backwards.
It's all about Slaanesh dicks inside of Titans.
Oh, maybe we should do Slaanesh for 69.
All right,
that's a pretty good idea.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Okay, so for Mob Rules, I've been John,
and I'm a Dave.
We'll see you next time, or talk to you next time.
This episode of Mob Rules has been brought to you by Mob Rules Media. Please join our Facebook group and be part of the conversation at facebook.com/MobRulesAK. You can also email us at themob@tophat-arts.com. Thanks for checking us out, and we will see you in 2 weeks.